situation that is occurring. And yeah, with that being said, we that the voices of the people, when you see 30,000 people fill up a stadium in support of this coup d'etat, right? In Niger, we're all aware of what's going on. We know that that the majority of people and a large and a huge amount of people are for this. But I don't know if the rest of the world really knows to which degree we are. Maybe people see, yes, the Nigerians don't want this, but do they know that the stadium was filled up and 30,000 seats were filled up? Do they know that in different areas in Niger, in all the different cities, people are protesting and marching in support of this coup, in support of the guys who are currently our new government? I don't think they do, and I think that's important. That's an important thing to do. Where with with Western media, who have their propaganda is very very powerful, and they can create their own narratives and dictate how many different people think and feel about the situation. Those who are misinformed, and what we need to do is combat that with social media and with our own platforms. So finding one hashtag, if we can come and agree to one hashtag, a simple one, right? The same way Nigeria had ENDSARS and we were all tweeting and in support of ENDSARS, right? If we can figure one out during this space and make tweets and retweet each tweet that each person makes, right? We all retweet it and then make videos on TikTok explaining the situation and saying why we are against this. Because applications like TikTok and Twitter are the easiest to share information, right? They're the easiest ones where all you have to do is retweet or repost, and the algorithms work in a way that your content will be seen by the masses a lot easier. I believe that is one of the best things that we could do during this space to help find a solution and to show the unification of Africa against what is happening right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you can come up with any ideas, just tag me, tag my handle. Now I will be able to retweet as well. Suggestions are welcome. On a simple hashtag we can adopt, but more importantly, let us find solutions for folks that are going to be involved in possible military intervention. I suggested earlier that people should stock up on supplies where possible. Those that are able to go out peacefully to show physical disagreement with this plan, this war, this intervention, call it whatever you are calling it. It is Africans fighting Africans for the interests of external countries. We must do all we can to resist it wherever we find ourselves on the planet. So don't say people in Nigeria should protest, people in this. No, everybody that does not agree with this, please add your voice. Also, tag I need someone to make tweets on the handles we should be tagging. If you're on this space, on the comment section, just drop a tweet about all the international organizations, Emmanuel Macron's handle, Joe Biden's handle, for all I care, Vladimir Putin's handle. I don't know if he has Twitter. All the handles possible, share it on the chat section so we can all use that. Thank you very much. I think I'll segue back to Ariwa.
All right. Okay, so we're going to take Mekudi next. Please, if you're on the speaker session and you want to speak, please just indicate by raising up your hands. Then we'll take Fuga. Mekudi, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for opening this space and giving us the platform. So, first of all, I want to start from the news article that dropped about the results of the extraordinary meeting that the ECOWAS had held. So, if I'm reading from the tweet that was posted in the Jumbotron, right? And it said they declared that they want to restore constitutional order in Niger by force. First of all, ECOWAS was created to foster socio-economic relations between its member states, right? It wasn't for military purposes. We saw the formation of ECOMOG for peacekeeping purposes in Liberia back then during the Liberian Civil War. Peacekeeping purposes is very important that people should remember. So the fact that now ECOWAS is coming out to say they want to restore constitutional order by force in a country where the coup d'etat was bloodless, generally, in a country where the general populace of the country, the citizens, supports the current administration, it's mind-boggling because, first of all, the first reaction of ECOWAS should or would have been maybe talks, diplomatic talks with the current administration, to try to repair or promote the socio-economic relations between the member states and Niger. So the fact that they are going towards the area of force just makes you think maybe they are being engineered by outside forces. Now let's not even forget that even in Niger right now, there are a lot of things at play, a lot of things are going on. And then for Nigeria, the head of the ECOWAS, to be in support of something like this, considering that we have our own problems, even in Nigeria, the fact that we're in court right now, there's a presidential tribunal going on right now. The president has not even stayed up to 3 months in office. His cabinet has not been fully inaugurated. There are still a lot of things going on in our country. And then going forward with such aggressive approach to a country that is trying to repair itself, to a country that's trying to free itself from the outside forces, is ill-advised, is poor decision making. First of all, we are bordered with Niger by 7 or 8 northern states. So any action you want to take, and we have refugees in Niger right now. We have some of our citizens in Niger right now. Any action you want to take, I think this should have been like maybe the last thing that should have been done when every other measure has failed. We have not protected our borders. We have not even evacuated our citizens. And you're coming out to say you want to restore constitutional order by force. It's like an act of, we are declared an act of war. It's alarming because, like, let me still say it again. We have a lot of yes.
Hello. Sorry
yes,
to interject. Don't lose your train of thought. I just need to make 2 announcements. Number one is that this space is being streamed on Njenje Media on YouTube. For those that want to catch it on YouTube, Njenje Media, Mazi Ezukain is on our space and is streaming with our permission, so we can share the conversation on YouTube as well. Secondly, we come up with a hashtag, No to War in Niger. No to War in Niger or Niger. Hashtag No to War in Niger. Let's use that hashtag as a unified hashtag and tag all the international agencies you can remember. Again, I requested anyone that can do that for us, bring all the handles so we can just use the hashtag No to War in Niger. That is the hashtag. Mike, go ahead and see round up.
All right, thank you very much. So to round up, I'm just going to say ECOWAS should be more interested in keeping the peace. And if you are keeping the peace, that means like maybe there's war and there's turmoil. In Niger right now, the citizens are happy. Everybody's looking forward to the future with hope. For ECOWAS to come and stir a very calm pot, it is unusual and it should be condemned. Thank God that everybody here, nobody has come up to say they are in support of ECOWAS and a space of 2,000 people. And everybody saying they are against the decision of ECOWAS. I really hope our leaders should listen, because we need African leaders that should be for Africa. Right now, most of our leaders are not for Africa. They are dancing to the tune of whoever it is that is playing.
They are twerking for the West.
Exactly. So whoever it is that is giving them more money or whatever they want, that's who they are giving everything. They are literally opening the borders. Do you understand what war causes? we have allies. Niger has allies, and they open their borders for those allies. We also open our borders for those allies. In fact, a lot of things are going to go on in war that I don't think Nigeria is prepared for right now. We are not prepared for it at all. African leaders, our leaders need to be for us. You think about our citizens first. This was why I was so happy with the ObiDient movement that I'm a proud member of, because we came out to say we want a leader that is for us. We actually said we are running for presidency through this man because we understand the importance. And the fact that these cronies still managed to get themselves in there and they are still doing the very thing that we said we are against. How do you say, okay, they should give it to you, and you're still doing the same thing that put us in the deplorable state that we are today?
Please try to
For
round
God's sake. Yes, sorry about that. I got emotional there for a minute. So I would like everybody on the space, like Stephen has always been saying, please let's all tweet and make noise and call our leaders to action or to order. Sorry, this should not have been the knee-jerk reaction. This should have been like the last measure to take after every other thing has failed. And right now they are starting from 10, a bit from degree 100 and going back to 1. It is not right. We should fight and we should stand for ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that submission. Fuga, you go next. Then I think, yeah, okay. After Fuga, then I'll take another cue.
Okay, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are spacing from. All due protocol observed. I want to say, Mr. Steve, welcome back, and I see your work. May God give you that wisdom, strengthen you, and I pray that God will grant you your desire, and for the good of the Edo people, not for, so because that is what we are all after. We owe anybody accountable. Me, I support you fully, but my own expectation is that when you get there, do things differently. Cite an example that things can be done right, and all Nigeria will take a cue left from this generation who come for a change, who come for justice, because justice is being sold in this country by the highest bidder. Anyway, let me retract to the main topic. I want to say thank you.
Before you go, sorry to interject. Because brevity is better for hashtags, we kind of modify the hashtags, everyone. The modification is no war in Niger. No war in Niger instead of no to war. Niger, yes, that's the French pronunciation. No war in Niger. Let's use that hashtag. It's short and simple. No war in Niger. Thank you. Fuga, thank you for all your kind words and support. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So, as I was saying, a big thank you to Harry Wachik. NASA a long time. Since when Steve
no mind them, no mind them.
Begin this thing. NASA just abandon, like if you say they follow NASA 2 accounts, they even follow anyone, but I know they find follower. But as in NASA disappear, they almost see this. You see this thing, we must not keep quiet. Those people are not ready to leave that place. If we see when we me sometimes I want to if this thing took over my life, as I'm telling you, in a way I'm not normal, because I keep thinking. As I did, I know they think of anything. I just keep thinking about there are things you'll be tired of. Why are we different that we cannot? Do you know how many millions of Nigeria all over the world? Why can't we be in our country and live in our country and build our country and make it a better place? We are paying taxes to other countries. They are using our own human capital to develop their own country. And we know that we benefit financially and take it anywhere and make a better life. But it's supposed to be in your own country, nation building. Those people are there, send the email, prayers. No worry now, me, I send my own prayers to the judiciary by email, according to say now so they be now. Judiciary, all eyes on you, do the right thing. Me, I don't know as it go be, if anything happen, because I don't understand. Me, I'm just depending on where meaning Nigeria, let me say ObiDient or as a family, because for now those people, they speak truth to power. They know that things are wrong and they want a change. So those are the so at the end of the day, I don't know how it will be for me. See, these people must be chased out Forget with. I don't want to know whether na judiciary go do am or not be judiciary. These people need to move. Let them move. If we want collect wetin they think, oh boys, look at Okpabio. Just look at that man, like an imbecile. He don't even know what he's doing. Like somebody who is on cocaine. Go and watch that video. He don't even know what he's doing. Is it Bolaba where they leak microphone? These people are like a Nigeria, brilliant Nigeria. I'm not saying I'm counting myself among them. No, I'm talking about Nigeria where I don't see do exploit in terms of achievement. Proud of them. A man like that, he rigged election with INEC Mamu Yakubu, and he's there. Like how that man? He's not representing us. We all know who won the election. Anyway, let me go back to this Niger something. Nigeria, let me tell you, Nigeria, we are not part of whatever this man is doing because he's an illegitimate president elect by the INEC. He did not win election. So he's not speaking for us. You know, when you elect somebody, that means that person, you elect that person to represent you, will be your voice. So he's not speaking for us. We are not at war with you people. We are with you. And he does not have the legitimacy to question what path do you people choose, how you should be governed. Because me, one thing about governance is that is touching the people's lives. Is China not doing better?
Please, round
okay.
up.
We round up. Is China not a democracy? It's not a democracy. But they are doing well. I'm not supporting them. But I want to tell Tinubu and his ECOWAS member, corrupt people, all those people are old corrupt people. They are not speaking for Africa. We are not going to work with Niger and Niger. Let the Nigerian people know that and hear this. That we are not with this man, and this man is not our president. All eye on the judiciary. I use my mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Fuga. All right, so we're going to take a lady, then Mikel, you go after Chibes. Chibes, you go, then Mikel. After Mikel, we'll take Emperor. In that order, please. I will take another queue. Chibes, Mikel, Emperor. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Chibes. As you go on, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
please
you.
let's reuse the new hashtag that is we're using. I want tweet on it. Let it trend globally. That means you need to be aggressive about it. Hashtag no war in Niger. No war in Niger. Use that hashtag, please. Everyone on the space, and retweet the space. We'll soon be winding down. Please let's follow each other so that we can know when we reconvene. Our brothers space or sister space, violence space can also continue. I see they are up as well. We've been here for all day, so we're winding down soon. But in any case, go ahead, my sister.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steven. Thank you very much, Arewachika. I see all that you are doing. I so much appreciate you. God bless you. I hope that history will remain kind to all of you, working out the true democracy, what they call the true democracy for this nation. And concerning the ECOWAS declaring war on Niger military, I'm so disappointed in Tinubu. I'm so disappointed in that man. I never expected anything less or anything more, but he has gone to the extreme. This shows that he's not even a Nigerian, because how will you put a nation you love, a nation you are serving, into war? Like, you have not looked at
Nation, wait,
Nigeria.
please. Nation you love. Did you say nation you love? Somebody, you cannot call
Is it very
this kind of
Nigeria?
person.
I'm in Nigeria. I love Nigeria.
Nation you love.
Nigeria is my country. I have nowhere else to go. The freedom I get here, there is no other country or any other nation where I can get this freedom. So this Nigeria is a nation I can say, or a country I say.
Don't get me wrong, sister. What I mean is, are you referring to Bulaba, somebody who loves the question. That's what I'm referring to. Sorry. It's like you didn't understand what I meant.
With everything
Are you still there?
shows, yeah, I'm still here. It truly shows that Tinubu is not a Nigerian. He is not a Nigerian in any way. I'm not going to saying all the things that have been said here before. The only thing I want to say is that if you have people in the north, like you have your siblings around the nation, around the states, call them back to yourself. Like this night, I have to make sure my sister that is in Kaduna, I have to ask her to start coming back home because I don't know what will happen the next minute. I don't know what will actually happen. So if you have loved ones, maybe in the north, it's time for you to call them back. It's time for you to ask them to come home where they are, like where they will probably peace.
Madam, if you say they should come home, where will the northerners? Where will, I don't think that's the solution. But I hear you, but that's not what we're encouraging. Again, remember, there are at least 7 to. Everyone, correct? How many states border Niger? Nigeria.
7.
7. So 7 Nigerian states have land border with Niger. Where would those people go? So it's a big problem we're facing. So we must push back on this using our democratic right. My recommendation is always the same: peaceful, massive protest everywhere. Everywhere. If you sit down at home, don't know what's coming. All right.
So what
All
I'm
right,
trying
please
to
round
say,
up, Chibes.
okay. So what I'm trying to say is that, like he has said before, like every other person I've said here before, let's do the needful. Let's do all we can to avoid this because I don't see any reason why Tinubu would do this, why ECOWAS would do this. There is a lot of things that are going on in Nigeria. ECOWAS has never for one day stepped in, not even the Fulani headsmen, the Boko Haram, everything. Now they are bringing Nigeria to war with their neighboring country, with a neighboring country who does that. If you are for peace, why haven't you bring peace to Nigeria? Why haven't you make a call for camp with the headsmen? Why haven't you done that? Why will you allow the Western world to use you as a puppet? For what? For you to get legitimacy? For what exactly? Will you put 200 million lives people in danger for just nothing? It's just crazy. So for me to just round up, please let's do the needful, let's do all we can to avoid this. It's a terrible thing. It's so terrible. I'm so disappointed. This is the height of it. And I pray that God both between us and Niger, another nation that is trying to join to this one. I just pray that God will restore peace. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to give my submission.
You're most welcome, Chibes. All right, so Michael, over to you. Then who was even supposed to talk to Michael? I think I've forgotten, but Michael is next though. Michael, then
Is
I'll
it
leave
my
it.
account?
Yes, Michael C.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on this space. I want to also thank people who have contributed before me. Um, so I just wanted to clarify a few things. A lot of people
Sorry, please
talk
hold
about.
on. Steve, please
Okay.
can you check your DM, please? It's important. Thank
Okay. So I've seen a lot of talk on the US involvement, but I would love to clarify something. The elephant in the room is not really the US. So, in case you don't understand how Niger's uranium flows, it flows from two cities, Aklit and Akokan in the north, flows down through Benin Republic, which is why they are very much interested in the war. and flows to France. For US, they don't source their uranium mostly from Niger. They get 35% from Kazakhstan. They get more uranium from US than from Niger. So the US involvement in this is their military base in Agadez, their military plans for Libya, and all that. It's very much different from what France wants. And if you look at most of the ECOWAS people pushing for this, you are looking at French snitches or French spies who are parading themselves as Democrats but have seized power illegally in Africa. So if you look at ECOWAS, you see that a lot of the so-called presidents are French snitches or French spies or French agents who have worked for France, who is well known that these guys work for France. And what I believe right now is the solution is for Africans in France to rise up and talk about this. Because no matter your foreign policy, internal policy is more important. If people in France say no to this, you would be shocked that ECOWAS is going to stand down. Because the only people giving ECOWAS the muzzle or the motivation to go ahead with this is the French. Even the US is willing at this point to forgo it if they can get a collaboration with Niger's government. If you listen to what they said yesterday, the US made it clear that they would not consider this a coup yet. So they halted whatever process. There's a situation when the US calls something a coup, what has to be done? But they refuse to call it a coup. They are still operating in the country and they have a sort of standby agreement with Niger junta. But for the French, who have lost out on everything, this is their war and this is what they're pushing. And so this goes to tell you why we should be more serious about our local politics. Because when you have foreign agents, you have foreign spies. There's one of these presidents who has snitched on everybody. He has snitched. There's nobody he has not snitched on. His work is basically when he went to France, you could see how he was smiling to meet his boss. You could see that smile in his face was not a smile of someone coming for diplomacy. It was someone coming to meet his boss and to thank him for helping him clinch power. And these are people running African states, making decisions for you, and these decisions are not going to be in your favor. So what we need to do, Africans in France need to talk. Already there are even French senators, French people in Congress who are against this war. Because they know that if this war spills over to Chad and France manages to lose their last stronghold in Africa, which is Chad, France is done for. Like their whole empire is done for. Benin Republic depends on Niger to survive. Most of the Benin Republic, ever since Buhari came in and spoiled it, come from Niger, which is what Buhari was trying to get. The whole building of railway, trying to get people from Niger to use Nigeria, was Buhari's way of benefiting from this same thing Benin is getting. Because currently Niger uses Benin to ship everything. Whenever Niger is exporting the mineral resources and everything, the French use Benin. So they have been trying so hard to get Nigeria to benefit from it, which might be what this man is dreaming of taxing out or making money from. But at the same time, we must understand that this interest is against our national interest. As Nigerians, it's not in our interest to have a war with Niger. It's not in our security interest. There's no economic interest there. There's no justification. So why would Nigeria, every other country that is bordering Niger, apart from the Republic, has hands off? You have Algeria, Chad, Mali, Burkina Faso. Everybody said no. Why is Nigeria still interested so much in volunteering men to go to this? So this is why I always say we must hold our local politicians accountable. We must mount pressure on the legislature to begin impeachment proceedings. We must, people in France, people must talk more about the French involvement in this. A lot of people are giving them, removing the burden on the real instigators. We must mount pressure on them and hopefully, because at this point now it's a matter of hope. We don't even know if the military has already begun operation as we speak. So hopefully we'll be able to avert this, because the moment the first gunshots are fired, the whole game changes systematically. I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Michael, for that elaborate analysis. This war is not going to benefit Nigeria in any way. It's only going to benefit one person, and that one person is the illegitimate person that has stolen a mandate because he wants to get that legitimacy from the West. We don't want to fight any war. Going into war is not something that is going to add any value to us. It's only going to it's going to only destroy and further divide the country, or even pieces, take the country down the drain completely, because everything is already at the brink of falling. Any war right now is like destroying everything, because everybody is at the brink of, for crying out, people are suffering already, and then adding war to it is like you're just killing them finally and taking their lives. We don't want war, and I hope that we're able to come to this. Like I just hope the military somehow just revolt and not, because they're also Nigerians, and either way, it's going to affect them too. It's not a thought of, okay, they are at the war front, maybe perhaps it will not affect them. They have children, they have families too, they have relatives. So it's going to affect every one of them. I just hope one way or the other they can just revolt and not take these orders, because at the end of the day, we're all going to be in trouble, all of us. There's nowhere to run to. Already we have our brothers and sisters, taking refuge in Niger. And now you want to go and fight that same country over no, like, when they've not done anything, absolutely nothing to us. Oh, this Bala is just, I don't know. Emperor, you go next. Then um Elvis will go after Emperor. Then we'll take King Nasir. So
Shut up.
Emperor.
Shut up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Can you hear me?
hold on, I'm still taking the cue, please. So Emperor, Elvis, Nasir, then Mike. In that order, then we'll take a new queue. Please, if you're on the speaker session, please raise your hand to indicate you want to speak, or I will have to pull you down to the listener section and bring some other people up, because that's the way I can take a proper queue. So, Emperor, you're on.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. We just go straight to the point. I think we have been scammed with the definition of democracy. They told us that democracy is a government for the people. But right now, I think it's government for the West. Whatever the West wants, you do it. So, about what we can do to try and stop the war, I think the Northerners have a major role to play in this, because most of them have a family in Nigeria. So maybe mass protest at the border. Like you said we have I mean, 7 states have a border with Nigeria. So mass protest around there, I think that will stop the advancement of our military men, or maybe at least delay the war till we can find a better solution in stopping the war totally. Because right now, I think no matter what we say, Tinubu is going to that war, and he's ready to satisfy the West and give them whatever they are looking for. So the mass protest at the border, I think that will do something. Maybe delay the war, or maybe stop it. At least our military men can't work on our citizens just because they want to go to war that does not concern us. So maybe that mass protest. I don't know. That's just my suggestion.
All
Thank you.
right, thank you very much, Emperor. Quickly, let's get it moving. Elvis, you're next. Please, let's keep it short, please. 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, brothers and sisters, for organizing this. I believe that this is a very important event. For this reason, we're going to continue with such momentum to reach our brothers and sisters across the world. I mean, for me personally, I believe this is a good thing. You have to look at it from this angle. And there has never been a time where Africans, especially the young people, have come together for a cause. Now we are being enlightened and more alert and aware of the importance of unity, not because we don't need to unite because we don't have differences, but we now know that our survival depends on uniting. So it's not about Nigerians, it's not about Niger, it's not about Ghana. Anyway, I'm from Ghana, I live in France. It's not about our respective countries, because if you look at our geography right now, it was made for us. In Ghana, if you look at the West, Ivory Coast and the people in the west of Ghana, they speak the same language. In the East, they speak the same language. In the North, they speak the same language. So the demarcation was created by the colonialists just to be able to get us into a place we cannot work and develop among ourselves. Now, I'm going to tell you this good news. ECOWAS will not invade or intervene with their military in Niger. It's going to be almost impossible to do that. But it is important for, I don't know, whether political reasons, for them to come up and show their muscle. Because what they are doing is with pride, it's with arrogance, it's to show the world that ECOWAS is important. Now, as they are doing that, they are mocking themselves, because Burkina, Mali, and Niger have been crying for years, asking for military support to destroy these terrorist attacks in their country. And ECOWAS never mobilized any military action to support them. We all know that. Anyone who hears of this matter knows that this is absolutely absurd. It's nonsense. But something has to be done. So I believe that this will not happen. There will be no military intervention in Niger, just for ECOWAS to show their muscles. But of course, as we've come together as Africans, and not from Nigeria, Ghana, and all that, but Africans, we need to spread the word that we don't support any form of war. And for this reason, I created this petition on Twitter, a petition. You can sign it. Is to mobilize, the name of the petition is No War in Africa, No to War in Africa, Niger. You can sign the petition, you can retweet. We want the world to know that Africans do not support any form of military intervention in any of our states or any of our countries. And I believe that our voices will go high and high. And this happening is a good thing. For me, it's a good thing because it has created a great awareness and provoked a lot of African young people into serious thinking about our future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. King Nasir, over to you. Please, 2 minutes. Once you see me waving, please, it means round up, round up. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for allowing me the time to speak, and also thank you for hosting this space. I think spaces like these are important for numerous amount of reasons. But I'll just get straight to the point. I'm personally not in support of the actions and decisions that ECOWAS is making towards what's going on in Niger. I will say that I do support what the military junta in Niger has been doing um, as far as their actions towards fighting against colonialism and imperialism, as well as the countries that are allying with them. Um, I have been studying this only for a short time and keeping up with what's been going on in Africa and African countries for a short period of time. So I'm by no means an expert on many of these political matters, but I am a influencer and a celebrity, and I have a pretty large platform as well as the ability to reach a lot of people. So I have more so of a question and I ask from some people that's in this space who may be a little bit more informed than I am to please, if you can, take some time to follow me, shoot me a DM, and just sort of give me some ideas, advice about how I could use my platform to perhaps inform more people, perhaps educate more people about what's currently going on in West Africa. I would really appreciate it. Um, I'm able to reach, millions of people, not necessarily through this page, but through my other social media platforms. So, thank
Oh, did we just lose
Yeah.
him? Oh, I think we did. But in case you can hear me, absolutely brilliant idea on what we can do. We can take the message out. Everybody, there's the feedback. Everyone.
Steven, please check your DM, please, just quickly. It's all.
Our,
Yes, just no before you say anything.
that's. I don't. Is it this Twitter DM? Hello, Ari, are you there? Can you send me a message on
Can you
WhatsApp?
hear me now?
Because this
Can
Twitter
you
is
hear me
messing up.
now?
Send me a message on WhatsApp, everyone. Okay. All right.
Before you say
I think
anything,
there's a
before
feedback.
you say anything, just check the DM, please. Thank you.
I can't get your
It's
DM,
there
Ariwa.
already.
And
Check it.
this one you're saying before you say. Anyway, okay, I've seen your message.
Okay.
That's fine. So the gentleman that dropped off, we do need you to take the word out. No war in Niger is what we're trending. We Africans do not want to fight each other. Our government is doing that on their own. ECOWAS does not have the support of the vast majority of us. We are totally, at least I know for those on this space, largely totally against this war. I've not seen anybody that is in support. There is unanimity in words against this act of force. We believe dialogue should be the way to go. They can give the junta timelines to hand over to civilian rule through negotiations. Again, it's a sovereign country. They can decide what they want. I don't think anybody else should have a say in that. Or the Nigerians that have come on this space on record have said they totally support the coup, even though they don't want military dictatorship, but they didn't have their voice through the ballot box. The people overwhelmingly support the change that has come. The new prime minister has no record of corruption, so they are hopeful. And so when the ECOWAS go in there, they're going to meet a population that detests them, that see them as invaders. They will not have any welcoming party. And again, there are massive consequences for all Africans, particularly we in the West African subregion. The 7 states in Nigeria that border Niger are going to have a catastrophic humanitarian disaster, mass displacement. Europe and America that does not like African immigrants are going to have hundreds of thousands, possibly millions, at their borders very quickly. So they must rethink this effort and trace their steps. Let me bring up Maureen, who have been trying for the longest. Maureen, what happened to your network? I tried to bring you up forever.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I really don't know what's going on with the network. I kept on dropping off. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. I do apologize to those that were supposed to speak before me. I do appreciate it.
No.
Okay.
You were supposed to speak. You've been trying to speak for the longest. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, I have. Thank you very much. Right, first I want to say that personally, I do not support this war. I think it's the biggest mistake that any nation or any economic bloc could ever make. ECOWAS has made a big mistake, and I just hope that we will all not live to regret it. having said that, my own opinion is that we need to like go out on the streets first of all in Nigeria, which happens to be the largest contributor to the bloc militarily. We need to go onto the streets. We need to really go out and protest. This is really, really important. And for those of us that think that it's just going to be the 7 northern states that are going to be affected by this, I think you have to think again, because I tell you, these guys have sophisticated weapons that can reach literally anywhere in Nigeria. So we have to go out on the streets. We have to let the world know that we are against this coup. And also, I think some of us that live in the diaspora, we need to go to our representatives, we need to go to our senators, our congressmen, whatever country we live in. We need to go to these people and send letters, tweets and all kinds of stuff to let them know that we are 100% against this war. And also, I think also the Nigerian Senate needs to come back on emergency sitting and start proceedings to impeach this man. He's absolutely an imposter. He doesn't deserve to be there. He's taken us into a place where we haven't been in so many years. Africa as a whole will be, worse off for it. So I think he should be impeached. I think the grounds of what he's doing this thing are impeachable grounds. If you don't have the backing of the Senate that said no to your initial request for this, then how the hell are you taking up our soldiers to war? It says there I think in the Constitution, I think somewhere Section 5 or so, it mentions there specifically that the president cannot send his troops out without the consent of the Senate, and the Senate has said no. So it is an impeachable offense, and I think we should take it from there. Also, somebody mentioned here also that we need to take
Maureen,
ECOWAS support. Yep.
Maureen, allow me to clarify that we did had a conversation about this, and the argument is that he vetoed the Senate resolution using his veto power. They can override the veto if they were in session, but sinisterly, they went on recess yesterday.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I'm
that's
saying. They need to be called back immediately and start. They have to come back immediately and fix the music. They should have some way of impeaching this man. Because I asked a lawyer about this, whether you can veto this, and I was told there isn't. There is no way this thing can be vetoed by anybody. He must seek approval from the Senate, and he didn't get it. So this is an impeachable offense, and measures have to be taken. I mean, and then of course we cannot overemphasize about the judiciary. They have to do. They have to come out now and put the rightful person in place so that the rightful person can take over this thing and sort this mess out. Because I can tell you this is a big mess. I am absolutely 100% worried about the situation. I really am. Because even for some of us that are in the diaspora, you might think they were a million miles away, but I have family in Nigeria. I have friends in there. I'm Nigerian, out loud. And I want to tell everybody in Africa, those that are speaking from Ghana, I listened to the lady that spoke from Niger. I listened to the other man that spoke in French as well. We are behind you guys 100%. We support. We are totally against this coup, and no matter what happens, we are behind you. We are behind you, and I pray that God will take control of this whole situation, this whole mess. I think also the northerners, the 7 northern states, also have to come out with another statement. There has to be pressure. We have to put pressure on the government, pressure on the Senate, pressure on our representatives. Those of us are in diaspora. We need to go out and protest. We need to send letters out. We need to do every single thing that we can to make sure this thing does not come to pass. Because, like one man said, once the first shots are fired, it's game over. Thank you very much, my yield.
Thank you, Maureen. Ariel.
All right. Over to you. Then we'll take La Sala and Auntie. Please, if you're on the speaker session and you want to speak, please indicate by raising up your hands. We have lots of requests, and we can only take a cue when you raise your hand. So, Mike, La Sala, and then Auntie, in that order, please. If you're on the speaker session and you want to speak, please indicate by raising up your hands. Thank you. Mike, over to you.
Thank you, Arwa. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Saha. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. And hello for everybody and for your guests. Nice to allow me to be one of your guests. I'm talking to you. My name is Mike. I am on the other side of the region. I'm from the Middle East, and I am watching and interested in the news in Africa. One of your guests, Stephen, he mentioned something about the African identity. and I think it's about time because I know your topic now on the space is breaking news about ECOWAS declaring war on Nigeria. But if you watch the news about Africa, you see this destabilization continuously in Africa and in the continent of Africa. Let's not talk about what took place in Rwanda. 2 million people or 1.5 million being slaughtered in Rwanda. Let's not talk about the situation in Sudan, the division of Sudan, and separating Sudan into two parts. Let's not talk about the wars that is taking place all over Africa under the name of nationalism and the division South Africa and East Africa and North Africa. And it's all boils down into one issue and to one part, which is the interest and the wealth that Africa is saying. Let's not talk about the dam that Ethiopia has been instigated to build up to deprive Egypt and to deprive Sudan from from water to have into this. How far you have to see that African is constantly in struggle, and now we're gonna move not only from colonization into occupation. Now we're gonna see what African killing each other, African killing African for the interest of somebody else wealth that he is benefiting from Africa. When I'm saying that, and I'm talking to you on the other side of the Middle East, and I will say, let me ask you a question: why those two continents? Why those two parts of the world, Africa and in the Middle East, which is the richest countries and the richest area in minerals, natural resources, in oil, in gas, and all these issues, is constantly in struggle, is constantly in fight, is constantly in trouble that it's caused not sometimes by people who are the original citizens of the country or the continent, because it's always it's the interfere in order to do destabilization in whether Africa or in the Middle East. The situation, if you monitor the situation, what is taking place in Africa, I will ask one question: what does Iran and its agency is doing in Africa? What is doing in Nigeria now? Why it's controlling and trying to take over the wealth of Nigeria in oil, Iran, and now is moving to uh, three different other countries within Nigeria, who gave the order for Ethiopia to build up the dam to block that in order to create more conflict within Africa between the African people, whether in Egypt or Sudan or in between Ethiopia. Why is the not only that the wealth in Sudan is targeted, we know all of us that knows that Sudan is one of the richest countries in producing vegetables and that. Why Sudan is targeted now? Why what has been done when Libya faced the issue? It's about time, dear friend in Africa, to campaign and lobby not for Nigeria, not for South Africa or North Africa, for the identity of Africa, the interest of Africa. Protect your own interest, protect your own national resources. Speaks about Africa first, then talk to me about Egypt or Sudan or or Nigeria or any other country within Africa. When you can protect your own interest, then deal with your own nationalism and your own nationalist issue within your own country. I hope, I hope for Africa, the end of that struggle that is facing for many years to end soon, and at least to see prosperity within Africa that is good for African citizens and all the African countries in Africa. That's my wish from you, from the Middle East, because believe me, You are in Africa, I am in the Middle East, but we have the same scenario in the Middle East. We are dying each other for somebody's else interest, stealing our own natural resources and our wealth from the Middle East and from Africa. Thank you very much. God bless you, and hope to see more peace and prosperity in Africa, and to see more Africans focusing on and helping each other in not to allow anybody to interfere to create and instigate more problem between the countries. Thank you very much for everybody.
Thank you very much, Mike, for your submission. Please, let's keep it short, 2 minutes, please. Once you see me waving, just please, just round up, please. We have too many requests, and we're trying to see how we can at least get people to contribute. Okay, so Lala Sala, you are next, then Auntie. Stephen, please, can you check your DM, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Arewa. My name is Ben from Finland. I'm an old man who saw Biafra war.
Stephen, it's fine now. Sorry, Stephen, it's fine now. All right, you can go on.
I'm an old man from Finland who saw Biafra war by my own eyes. I was in Nigeria those days, working as a Finnish diaspora, and I really saw it by my own eyes, and I don't want to see Africans killing each other. The scramble of Africa is coming, and this will define the new scramble of Africa of 20th century. We had one scramble of Africa, and now it's coming another one. But this one, let me make it clear, this one will be scramble of Africa between East and West. West, they want it, and East, they want it. So, are we going to give up just because Niger has made a coup d'etat? It's their country. Give them a chance. They want to clean up. They have got the right to do what they want for their own country. No war in Africa anymore. We don't want any wars in Africa. Come on, my dear children. I don't know if you've seen Biafra War. If there's anybody who saw Biafra War, then he should say no war in Niger. Piles of boys or bodies lying in Port Harcourt. Piles and piles in Port Harcourt, in the river. That was the war in Nigeria. And the problem is there are certain Africans who support Niger. Make no mistake. And they will be able to say that we are going inside that war. That means the whole African continent will be in war. And the East will say, okay, we support you. And the West will say, okay, we support you. There you are. Again, I repeat, the whole Africa will be protectorate. Nigeria will be protectorate by West, and then other countries will be protectorate by East. Is that the way how we Africans want to live? Come on. Let's give peace a chance. Let's give peace a chance. It is really, really disturbing I have no words to say. If I wanted to speak French, I could speak French, but I don't think there's some Niger who speak French here because uh, c'est dommage, hein? C'est pas possible. It's not possible. It's not possible that we leave our Africans to kill each other. We've seen so many wars in Africa now. It's enough. Enough is enough. The one who kept this talk. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much, Madam Maria. We will continue. My name is Ben. I'm coming from Finland, working many years in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. We appreciate your submission. Honestly, going by what we've heard about Biafra War, I don't think anytime I hear it, it gives me cold shivers, knowing that the likelihood of something the same is just, it's just like a minute or second away. So we don't want war. Nigerians don't want war. We're not even prepared for war. In fact, our soldiers are not even motivated to go for war. And I just hope somehow, something is just going to stop this war from happening, because it's not the best of times. It's not even going to go well with us. It's not going to go well with us. We don't want war. Only Bola Tinubu wants war. And we don't know why he wants the war, although, of course, legitimately he wants to be clearly, seen as a legitimate president of Nigeria, which everybody knows it's not possible. There's a winner, and that winner is in court, and that court, we're going to get judgment soon. All right, so Auntie, you go. Then, please, if you're on the speaker and you want to speak, please, can you just raise your hand so that we can take a proper cue, please? If you're on the speaker session, or I'll just pull you down and bring up other people. Auntie, you go next. After
Thank you very much.
We'll take Nimble. After Nimble, we'll take Maestro, J James. Then we'll take Maestro in that order. Auntie, Nimble, James, and Maestro in that order. Over to you, Auntie. If you're on the speaker session, please raise your hand if you want to speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ariwashik. Thank you for the space, and thank you for having me. So just to put into context, I'm from Niger. Actually, my family and friends actually are in Niger. I'm not. But I wanted to say some things, because I've been listening to the space for quite a moment now. And I'm hearing a lot of things, and I want to really, really, really appreciate the fact that the Nigerian people in this space are with us from Niger. That being said, I condemn all sorts of violence. I'm against war. I don't want the war. I don't want war in Africa right now. I don't want war between Nigeria and Niger, because for me they are the same. It's only the imperial countries that separate us. There is a lot of people here on Twitter that are from Niger that don't speak English, are listening or trying to understand what you're saying, cannot come here and speak because they don't speak English, but a lot of us speak Hausa. So this is a common language that we have with Nigeria. I have some family in Nigeria that are also against the war. At the same time, if I condone violence, I condone all sort of violence. So I'm not someone who will say here that I'm not against the coup d'etat. This is not true. And I'm not the only one. So I just want to make clear that for me, ECOWAS is doing a poor job, because right now we cannot just declare war between one country and another. It's not possible. We have so many issues. The war is already happening with the terrorists. It's already happening. It's been happening for more than a decade. So this is the war that we must be fighting right now. And all the forces, all the people that are willing to bugagaba, as we say in Hausa, should go there and fight the right fight. This is not the right fight. At the same time, I think that right now we need to find another way to discuss about the peace. We need to find another way to discuss about the fact that a coup d'etat cannot happen like this in Niger and call it revolution. It's not a revolution. It is not. Why am I saying that? Because Chani, who just took the power in Niger, is part of the system. He is part of the system. He's been with Muhammad Yusufu, he's been with Bazoum for 12 years. All the people that were yesterday nominated into the new government are part of the system. This is not a revolution. So let's take a moment. Let's find the right way to discuss about the resolution of this crisis. Let's also put some kind of pressure on the junta to tell them that they need to discuss because they are not discussing right now. What they are doing right now is not discussing. It's arresting people and it's not discussing. It's showing that they have forces. It's not discussing. We need to put people on the table and discuss. I'm not sure if ECOWAS is doing a great job in discussing with the junta. I'm not sure if they're really discussing with them because this is not just, it's not working. Sending the president from Chad, who is also someone who are not democratic leader, to discuss with the junta was their first mistake. So right now, who is discussing with the junta? What are they willing to put on the table so we can meet them? They can meet them halfway, if I can say in English like that. So my point here is really to say, please, there is not a single narrative. There is still people in Niger that are not supporting the coup d'etat, and there is still people in Niger that are both not supporting the coup d'etat and are not supporting the war. And I am one of them. We haven't been sleeping for more than 2 weeks. People in Niger and people abroad from Niger. We don't have any electricity. We have 2 or 4 hours of electricity because the government of Nigeria had cut off the electricity. We don't have any economy running in the country right now because all the partners, external and internal, had cut off the projects. All my friends there, part of my family has no job right now. Not only because the Western had cut off, because internally nothing is working. So this is not working. And we need to find another way to put some peace in, or put people on the same table. And I'm not sure that ECOWAS will do that by just not declaring war, but saying that war is still on the table. That's what I was willing to say. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak my truth.
All right,
And,
thank you.
yeah.
Auntie Muluti, can you tell us if the election that produced the Zoom was free and fair? Can you comment on that?
So if you have some time, you can go through my profile, and I've been talking about the election and everything.
No, is it a yes or no?
No. The answer
process
is
that
yes.
produced the Zoom, was it a free and fair election?
Okay. Sorry?
The process
Yeah.
by which produced Bazoum, was it a free and fair election?
It was an election. It was an African election.
We know it was
What
an
do you
election.
want me
Was
to
it
say?
free and fair? Was
Yeah.
it widely accepted? Did you vote for him?
It was. I didn't vote for him, and I didn't vote for his opponent because his opponent was
Okay,
previous president.
Okay, thank you, Auntie Muluti. Thank you very much.
I will not say it was rigged, though.
All right, thank you very much. Over to you, Nimbo. Nimbo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi. Thanks, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak once again. And I just want to say, over the past week, there have been several reports, and I'm looking at it from the point of view. Okay, I've tried to analyze and say, what does Nigeria citizens, what are they going to gain this war? Nothing. What is the president going to get from this war? They're going to get financial misappropriation because in war, there's always benefit. The politicians become richer because you cannot account for the funds being used to finance war. For instance, now, look at what is happening in Nigeria where the subsidy is gone, the FX is a mess, unemployment is high, inflation is high, the government got money from subsidy. So refuse to give people palliative or give people or help the people. But rather, they're quick and fast on their foot to enact on war because they know that war, the financials of war, and you cannot account for the financials of war anywhere in the world, even in the US. The US print dollars and give Ukraine, nobody accounts for it. That's what they want to do. That's what people about going to get benefits. It's also trying to get legitimate to the point, okay, Macron is an ally of his. It's not an ally to Nigeria, it's an ally of his. And Macron has an interest in Niger. So I better dance to Macron and it will be a win-win for Tinubu and Njenje. Now I also looked at it from the point of the US. What does the US stand to gain? US has you have their security apparatus there. And I see the Western world as being so critical. The democracy, you sell this product. It's not like a company, it's not like a manager in a business that tries to sell a product. Now, this democracy you saw from the West to Africa, there are flaws. And you see these flaws, they don't come out to speak of the flaws. Oh, we don't support this, we don't support that. Because it doesn't affect your interest. And the try and see what happened in Nigeria in February. That's not a democracy. The citizens of Niger are even better off. They're happy. I see videos where they're in the stadiums, where they're standing, where they're happy. Who said democracy is sacrosanct? Who said democracy is the best form of government? The West. That's what they assume. It's just an illusion. It's not the best form of government. The Chinese people have their own government, they're fine. Government should be designed in line with the people. If the Nigerians are happy with what they have now, good for them. Why is ECOWAS deciding to invade? Because it's an invasion to me. They did not kill the president, which was peaceful. I've not seen a coup where the president don't die. They did not tell the guy to go on extra. They just kept him in detention and it's released now. That's the coup. Is that the bloody coup? To me, that's the change of government. Now, Nigeria, what are you going to stand to gain in pursuing this war? Nothing. The people are going to suffer. The northern people will suffer. The northern citizens of ours will suffer because their land will be used for burial ground. I have a friend that came from Ukraine and said, "Oh, what's happening in Ukraine today? It's not really what the media is showing. People are dying. A lot of people are dying, and this is what we want to do in Nigeria now, where we're going to fight a war that's not our business. The war has nothing to do with Nigeria. Nothing. It has nothing. Because of one man's ego and one man trying to get validity from the people, from his foreign allies. I want the government to reconsider, and I want the people, the way forward, we could go around and go to the embassy. I don't trust the West. They do what suits them. Go to the embassies and try send the voices out, shout. Because when the war starts, there's no returning. If it starts, it starts. There's no stopping in the middle. Oh, in 2020, in 2022, when the war in Ukraine started, they said Russia will end it in 3 months. Over 1 year, going to 2 years now, there's still war. That's my submission. I just want the government, the ECOWAS government, should rethink this position. If this position is in the interest of its people, or they're trying to favor the West. That's all.
All right, thank you very much. I think I was top of Nimbo. Thank you for your submission there.
I'm here.
99%. Oh, I see your hands up. Liberty Champion, good evening. 99%. What's on your mind? Bring a little bit
Yeah,
back.
Steve,
Yeah,
can you hear
so,
me?
yeah, so update. Any update for us?
Yeah, I got information I want to share with people on the platform. I've been reliably informed that there will be French spies that will come into social media spaces all over the world to infiltrate, trying to justify the actions of the war. They will deploy them into social media spaces. Some will pretend to be supporting the war. Some will pretend to be against the war. So while we're on space, we should be careful. Some people will bring up to talk. Some will come to claim they are Nigerians, but they are French citizens. Some are from other. Yes, I'm telling you, I've been reliably informed right now. So they will come to claim to be Nigerians, but they are white. They are white. They are not anywhere close to Niger, but they could speak Hausa and they are white, pure white. So they will come with some fictitious handles to claim to be Nigerians to justify the war. So that's just it. And the source also informed me that the world should start trending impeach Macron. Macron is a warmonger. Impeach Macron. Call on French states to revolt. People all over the world. That there is pressure on Macron. Presently now, there is pressure on him in France because some senators are beginning to question his credibility. So if there is pressure on Macron is one of the main whole world should trend impeach Macron. So once there is pressure on Macron will back up. If Macron backs up, the world state stands for two things. Either you are standing to defend something or you are standing to gain something. Nigeria, right now, what are we defending? Nothing. Niger has never threatened us. Niger has never encroached in our territory. They've never taken anything that belongs to us. Then what do we stand to gain? Nothing. Of Nigerians, are we killing them because we want to take oil from them or want to take anything from them? No. So it's just one man's interest. One man, which is Tinubu, who is fighting for something
99%.
to gain.
99. Let me ask
Yeah.
you a question. Are you there?
I'm listening.
When Nigeria did all their stupid coups, how many Nigerian army invaded us? I mean, we never get coup for this country.
Countless coups.
you
We
are a
write
history
countless
man.
coups.
Abeg,
Tell me how many
even
Nigeria invaded us.
when Burkina Faso they make help them with the terrorism and the jihadists up and down there, when did ECOWAS raise an army to go and help them there? They've been crying since. Abeg, these people is obvious now. I think now God just want to expose them. Everything that is unfolding is to expose these bastards. All this from Macron, and it's true. That's
People
why
have
Macron
been
stepped down.
dying every day in the northeast. People are dying in the northwest. Terrorists are taking all over Africa. ECOWAS have not raised a strong army to fight terrorism in Africa. If ECOWAS can use this kind of force, there will be no ISIS, there will be no Boko Haram, there will be no Fulani herdsmen. Use military, that ECOWAS strength. Lock all ECOWAS states, fight terrorists. You would have eradicated them. We didn't do that. Okay. Because of one man's interest. Even the ECOWAS member states that is supporting ECOWAS, they don't know that Tinubu is playing on their intelligence. Macron is working on Tinubu. Tinubu is working on other ECOWAS member states. Because right now, if you check all the ECOWAS member states, they have nothing to lose if there's a coup in Niger. They have nothing to gain if they invade Niger. It's only France that has uranium to lose. US don't want the hands of Russia get to Niger uranium or Niger to have any direct link to Russia because of their base in Niger. That is why US is fighting. But the main people that know that the economic stability depends on Niger is France. That's why France is working. That's why France is using Tinubu, who has a very tainted record. They gave him a condition. You understand? So that is why he's dancing to their tune. Whatever they say. And this is the chairman of ECOWAS. Other members states are being forced because of that ECOWAS treaty. Chairman has spoken. We just have to follow. You can see today, Ghana is questioning. Nobody fights war when the next you don't fight war with your closest neighbor. You don't fight war
with your close neighbor, because the refugee crisis will snowball into your own state. It will snowball into your own territory. Can you hear me?
No mind them. We don't even get any fights with Niger. I don't know what
Imagine
concern us. Why we go
I can
match
hear
troops into Niger?
you. IDP camps. IDP camps are all over Nigeria.
We have not
Buhari didn't give us one single IDP camp.
We have not solved our own refugee crisis. Now, do you think that if ECOWAS invade Niger, Nigerians will not run into Nigeria? They will come into Nigeria. You cannot kill them. You have to accommodate them. Can you accommodate your enemy? Where do you tell them to go? Chad to be fighting them. They will run to Chad. So let's want them to move to. Understand? And let me tell you one thing. When Boko Haram was disturbing, when Fulani were disturbing, most of their fighters came from Niger. Let me tell you, an average Nigerian is not like to carry bomb and die you. But in Nigerians, they will blow themselves. Suicide bombers. I'm telling you, suicide bombers. We want to see the real people. When a man has nothing to lose again in this world, when he takes a man, a goat that's been chased, there's nowhere he could enter, go to fight. If Nigeria wants to see who they call suicide bombers, if they invade Nigeria so that they have nothing again to do, they'll start blowing themselves with mines. They'll start blowing themselves. They'll start attacking Nigeria. Just imagine this evening. They burned down Nigerian embassy in Nigeria because of what they said on the wall. They burned down Nigerian embassy in Nigeria today, not 3 hours, just 2 hours after that. I'm telling you, it's breaking news.
What about the Nigerians that live in Nigeria? What about our Nigerian businessmen and women and children?
Wow.
Once you hear somebody talking from both sides of the mouth, one individual came here now, we are asking, my friend, did you vote for this person? You are talking, begin to hem and haw.
Those are the one France is choosing. Look, France is sending people. They are pushing people to come and change the narrative.
If I catch all the people here, Baba, I don't see them. The minute him begin talk, I know this one is talking about
this. They will be invading every space. You see them. They are white. They are both. They are white.
99. Anybody that support the war cannot be on the space. You don't even if you don't be France, we will kick you out of the space.
No, they will not.
I need to bring anti-liberty.
They will not open up that they support. They will not open up that they support. They will try to play your intelligence by trying to stop your mind that look, we don't support the coup, but we don't support the war.
When they don't support inside the coup, they brought an intellectual, a man who knows what he's doing, a man who is African Development Bank country rep for 3 different countries. He has been called before. That's a credible prime minister. They should shut up. We don't support the coup, but we support the choice of prime minister. What nonsense. Anyway, I'm here. I don't see that. I can smell them from a mile off, talking rubbish from both sides of the mouth.
All right. Let's go back. We are looking for solutions. What can we do? Because our leaders are doing what we don't want. As democratic citizens of our country with rights, we must exercise that right. I believe that peaceful protests should be everywhere on the planet where we have Africans, particularly West Africans, because we must show that we don't want this. France itself is full of protests. They don't like what Macron is doing. He has turned a tyrannical leader in France. He has brought war now to our shores. We must also show. Nigerians have shown that they want this change, and they showed it physically. We will not do everything.
Even we say they rigged the election for France. So Macron is not supposed to still be the head of state in Africa. You know, they've been doing gilets jaunes, yellow vest protest things because of this Macron.
Yes, and there was massive protest recently now in France. Anyway, let me bring Liberty Champion. Lady Liberty, thank you for your patience.
Hello, my brother Steve. How are you?
I did where you leave me now.
You still there on ground or you don't go back to US?
I go on ground. I'm on ground.
I didn't see your work. Well done. How Nigeria?
We did now. That's how they go war. So I say NYSC now reserve NYSC.
Hey, yeah. Anyway, well done. My people, well, we're talking about solution. There are solution. My greetings to everybody on space. Arewachi, follow me. I want to send you some DMs. I can't be posting it on Twitter. Sometimes I want to send you private message. Follow me, look at DM you privately. You see, when we got that breaking news, oh, Senate reject motion to war, some of us were not convinced. Some of us knew that the Agbado president has more tricks under his sleeve. So this, to me, does not come as a fact. Some days ago, the other well-meaning Nigerians that I work with, I said to them, look, this war is not going to die away. It's going to rear its head. Let's strengthen something. Let's give people opportunity to sign something all over the globe. So the idea of this petition we're circulating, look, wherever you are, if you want the hard copy of the report to support whatever you're doing on ground, reach out to me, we will give it to you. We also have the carousel. People are asking, what is it for? What is it for? Look, my people, we are in an age of information technology, of social media. So a lot of us, we are very enlightened. You people will think, some of us think, oh, petitions don't work, but they work. Look, all the broadcast, PPT live, all eyes on judiciary, all the campaign and advocacy we are doing on social media. My goodness, it's keeping these people restless. So do not think all this effort you're putting, it's not amounting to anything. Someone like me, I cannot go and fight war in Niger, but this is the way I can contribute towards all the effort that people are doing on the ground. So please, people, please share the petition, sign it, and circulate it. And anywhere in the world, if you need copies, if you want us to give you the report to support your advocacy work where you are, reach out to me. We will send them to you. We supported what UC Maxwell did when he put his petition in Nigeria to NCJ to broadcast EPT live. And trust me, all that campaign we were doing made other civic society group put the same petition. So the judiciary was under pressure. Yes, we know they didn't give us what we wanted, but the important thing is that we galvanized and we kept the topic on the forefront, and it's still going. So my people, do not be disheartened. Do not be disheartened at all. That is all I've come to say. I want to congratulate everyone. We are doing well, and by God's grace, that war will not see the light of day. Let us not take the Agbado president for face value. I am telling you, there's nothing. See, Senate, all the token prayer they send them, God will bring them back. Somebody said it. You're in Nigeria, you better call your constituents, begin to combat them with their email. Tell them what are they doing. This man has gone against the instructions that they gave him. So I want to hear from the lawyers. And I'm going to hop on my turn space because there are questions that I really want to ask. What is the implication for this man going ahead with what he's doing? And if you look at the broadcast, the rider is ECOWAS has deployed standby force. All that one are live. And Nigeria Army might be ECOWAS force. So they are trying to make the narrative such that it is not Tinubu that is doing it. So we know all the antics and games they are playing. So my people send the petition, circulate it. And Arewachi, follow me back.
Before you go away, let me say that Nigerian constituents, senators, they know the big call, they know the answer call. Now for UK, where they answer you. So if you're there abroad, please write to your House of Commons, write to your congressman for those in the States, in Canada. Those are the ones that read letters or respond.
We are doing
our senators, they collect money, and money they collect. So we should do all we can to put pressure everywhere. If you are in France, I beg, when I gather on ourselves, go meet Macron. Tell them to leave Africa alone. Please. We don't want to fight their war. They should go and fight Russia in Russia. Leave us out of your war. We don't want to be part of it. Thank you very much. Let's continue with the hands. And,
Steve, 1 minute before I sign out, please. A lot of persons are sending me DM, but my DM is restricted by Twitter, so I cannot reply you. Please, if you're on this platform and you are sending me, please, I cannot reply because
99. I'll tell you. Don't worry.
My DM, my Twitter DM is restricted by Twitter because of verification. So Twitter is using me to out. They are using my post that gains traction to do advert, but they refuse me to verify. I've tried it for the past almost 1 month. Almost 1 month now, I've tried to verify. Twitter refused me. I don't know. I don't reporting my account. So because of that, my verification, well, whichever way I'm hoping to work, I'm hoping everything will be settled. But for that reason, even if I try to reply, by the time I reply 1 or 2 persons, they will block me. Say I should go and verify. I try to verify, they refuse me. So Steve, that's just it. So this is my good night. I'll say good night to you guys on the platform. Good morning wherever you are. Good afternoon wherever you are. So I've really spent a lot of time with you guys.
99, please retweet my tweets.
10:45.
Thank you.
I will do that. I will do that. 10:45 a.m. in the morning till 10:45 p.m. in the evening, Nigerian time. So wherever you are, Odabo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we have to keep the conversation going. So 99, I would connect with you again when you are able. Let's keep the conversation going. We are using the hashtag No War is Here. Before the war situation came up, we had the hashtag as well. We say tell us the date. Hashtag tell us the date, and that is to the Nigerian Judiciary. We want our mandate back. They should tell us the date. And now it's even more urgent than before. It is even more so urgent that they give us our mandate, that they ensure that the right leadership that has the backing of the majority of the people is there. Someone with a heart for the people, so that they will make decisions and considering their voters. You know, when you have leaders who did not get mandate of the people, they don't really care. The catastrophe that could happen with an invasion in a country that borders Nigeria with 7 states, humanitarian disaster is not something we can even start talking about. Europe should be well aware that Africans will get to their borders. They don't like us very much. We're coming because you cannot destabilize our continent and expect that we will not come. We are coming. America may think they are far. We will find a way to reach Mexico. Africans will find a way. Everybody, this war cannot start. We must resist and reject it. I encourage you to do all you can within the law, be law abiding of course, but let it be clear that we don't support war. Raise your hand if you like to speak. I'll go with the hands. Let me up J James.
Okay, thank you so much. Serious conversation. The audience is over 1,500 people attending here, and I take it to be a very serious referendum to our African leaders, our Tanzanians. And let me just make my point, very clear regarding the topic above. One, Africa, starting from the Organization of African Union to the African Union, we have a principle of non-interference into the matters of another country. That's very important. We have also a principle of respecting the borders we inherited from our colonial masters. Those who are reached upon to have a stable and peaceful Africa, to have a stable and peaceful Africa, or some there's an interference in my.
Let me find out. Ariwa, your mic is on mute. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, so those two principles were those two principles were set to in order for Africa to have a stable Africa, a peaceful Africa, whereby each country respects the neighbors and fellow African countries. Once we go against that principle, we are ourselves in a very serious situation. Probably bring threats of wars, calamities, misunderstanding, and this will never end. Nigeria has a challenge of Boko Haram. Cameroon has a challenge of separatists. DRC Congo has a problem of internal strife problems. And you can go on and on. We have never solved these problems. Why do we want to create another problem in Africa? The coup d'etat in Niger, nobody supports, military junta taking over, democratic institutions. But again, we cannot support invading a free country. Two wrongs doesn't make it right. It is tragically wrong for Nigeria or ECOWAS, any member of ECOWAS, to go into war into another country simply because the military of that particular country has taken over the government. This is an internal matter. Nigerians should be able to solve their own internal problems. We can help them to resolve them peacefully, but not taking guns on their head. This is tragically wrong for Africa. And we are inviting now, our colonial masters to interfere. What is the role of France? Yes, there was a time.
JJ, sorry to interject, but don't call them colonial masters. They are not masters of mine.
Whatever, I agree with you. But why do they continue interfering into African affairs? Why can't they give us a space to solve our own problems? Why leaders of Africa, and this is a very sad situation for a country like Nigeria, to entertain such kind of violation of this is violation of international laws. There's no any country has a mandate to interfere into the affairs of another country. If we want to help Niger, let's go for negotiation. These military guys will not stay there forever. There are things which were not going well in Niger, which created this opportunity of a military coup. And until at such times when things will be balanced, the political situation in Niger will get to the balance. Then there will be an amicable, peaceful way. To me, this was a peaceful coup d'etat. I mean, the president is there alive. The former president is there alive. He was not killed. He's not killed. Which means these people are ready to go for a peaceful deal. Maybe a transition government. I witnessed several coups d'etat in Nigeria when I was still a young boy in school. Several of them. But no single African country went into Nigeria to try to dislodge a military junta until when things settled for Nigeria, which has become, it can claim to be one of the largest democracies in Africa, though it has, still challenges internally, but we have no right to interfere. Nigerians can solve their own problems. Niger can solve their own problems. Every country has internal problems with a mechanism to solve its own problem. So for me, what ECOWAS can do in Niger is to help them to reach a peaceful transition period and not to go and shed blood for innocent people. Because, guys, war is not a joke. People will die. People will be displaced.
Round up, my brother. You're right.
So I think in no way we should support this kind of war in Africa. We don't support it. It's quite wrong, and it's so tragic for Nigeria to contemplate such a decision. Thank you.
Let me quickly say thank you, James. Thank you for your comment. But Nigeria did not contemplate any such decision. As a matter of fact, the Senate of Nigeria rejected military action, and they went on recess yesterday. And now the government of Nigeria, which does not have the mandate of the people, because it was a rigged election in Nigeria. As a matter of fact, this phase started because we are waiting for the judiciary to restore our mandate, which we voted for PeterObi, which I think you might know. So it is not. It's a situation where those who are parading themselves as our leaders do not have our mandate. They are deciding for all of us. You're right. War is a serious business. People will die in large numbers. And humanitarian catastrophe, people will be displaced. Nigeria alone borders 7 states of Nigeria, borders Niger. There are families across both sides of the border. It's madness. We don't support it. Please let them know that it's not Nigeria deciding. It's Tinubu and his cronies in other African countries who do not also have the mandate. For example, Senegal has been having internal protests because they try to jail the opposition. There's problems in Africa with our democracy, and the military guys use that as an excuse to come in. You're right. Dialogue should be the way. There should be a transition period for them to return to democracy through an interim government. As a matter of fact, they formed an interim government, a prime minister, which most of them say has very good record in terms of integrity. So I do not understand why the leaders of the West is pushing our own leaders into this senseless war. We don't support it. Mastro, you have the mic.
Okay, thank you guys thank you, Stevens, thank you, Arawashik, for all you've been doing. Personally, I've been following this issue for a while now, and basically, I'll say this: the coup, so far as I've learned, was out of a sincere spirit to better the nation of Niger. And frankly, the advent of war would be grossly devastating. Casualties will be very, very massive. The war is needless, and I've heard tales of Nigerian civil war. My uncle still had PTSD of the Nigerian war years after the war had ended. Yes, Nigerian military has superior arsenal and all, statistics, but Niger won't go down without a fight. And which, like I said, it will lead to massive casualties because there's literally.
Sorry to interject. Please don't lose your train of thought. Let's dig deep a little bit. Let's assume, without conceding, that the ECOWAS, led by Nigeria, goes into Niger and depose the military. What happens then when 99% of the people support the military junta? So that means they must stay there to keep whoever they want to put there by force. So they become an occupying force in a country that don't want them there. Do you see something like Afghanistan repeating itself? I don't understand whether they're not thinking. Anyway, go ahead.
So basically, you just said one of my points or something I've always emphasized. Tinubu has no trait, no feature, no characteristic of a leader because he doesn't listen. He doesn't see as far as his nose can let him see. So back to what I was saying. There's literally no border between Nigeria and Niger. For crying out loud, Niger, the leaders of Niger are in Nigeria. So I see the both of them as one country with like a single country because they are both siblings. Let me put it that way. So any war on Niger impact both countries like massively. I saw some persons saying Nigeria will capture Niger in a matter of hours. So someone like hilarious like in 24 hours they're going to capture Miami. Like will the forces in Niger just sit down and put some toothpick in their mouth and wait for them to come and be captured? I don't even understand how some persons reason. And come to think of it, Burkina Faso and Mali have also pledged allegiance with Niger to fight this war with them. So basically, the war is needless. The war is not even an option. Some persons are saying dialogue first and war should come later. The war is not an option. If dialogue does not work, everybody should mind their business. Every advocate to their own case. Let everybody stay put in their own country and let Niger handle their issues themselves. Tinubu is bent on plunging Nigeria and by extension West Africa into an endless turmoil of war. The Senate going to recess to me feels like a plan too, because of course we all know in Nigeria that the Senate is in bed with the executive, which by extension is Tinubu because was it Akpabio became Senate president courtesy of part of it had to do with Tinubu's influence. So the Senate being in bed with the executive, still like I don't really expect anything to come out from the Senate in like this entirety. So Tinubu's government is very, very illegitimate, and illegitimacy breeds illegitimacy. And as for the solutions, I would just urge all Nigerians or all lovers of Africa around the world to engage every embassy in everywhere you are.
organize protests and let us make this thing public. If you catch any Nigerian senator outside this country, or make them public, like engage them public. I will not encourage violence to anyone, but do not make them comfortable. Like even if you see them in an airport, like for crying out loud, take the cameras to them and hear their opinion. Quiz them and let us know what they are thinking in their heads, because it seems like their heads are just filled with nonsense and garbage. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Let's make it quick. We're winding down. Raise your hand if you'd like to speak. I'll go to Igwe Casey, then Dr. Musti. Dr. Musti will go after Igwe Casey. Igwe Casey, are you there?
Yes, good evening, Nigerians. Greetings wherever you're spacing from, African. Mr. Steve, Ariwa, NASA, all the good faces and African leaders here. I think this is a good joke. The biggest joke of all time, to hear that an illegitimate is trying to correct what I can even call a legitimate government, because these very Niger people you're talking about, they already form a government, having a prime minister, and all that. You cannot have a man who has not sit comfortable, who, in fact, a man who is not even elected by Nigerians, think of unseating a legitimate government of Niger. As a matter of fact, the people of Niger are happy with this position they find themselves. And I take it that fighting war in Niger is fighting the entire Africa, because the war is not just going to be fought on the ground of Niger alone. It's going to cause a huge hunger in the entire West Africa. And we're going to lose our to the West. A lot of challenges. You can see a country that is having so much challenges, like Nigeria, being in war with Niger. That's a huge joke. So I look at it as a joke and an expensive one. And I want to say that the Nigeria populace are fully behind the Niger. We're in support of Niger. They are our brothers. It is their decision, and we stand by them. Because if you travel to far north, places like Castina and the rest of them, you hardly know who is from Niger and who is from Nigeria. So, who is fighting who here? I think it is Tinubu. Nobody should call the name Nigeria. So, we should spell it out. Tinubu is trying to fight them and West Africa, to be precise. What he stands to gain, we do not know. But I don't think he will scale through, because he has to sit up by himself. Has to, where, how, when you don't even have a government, you are not a president of Nigeria. You're just a selected a personality of the cabas. I can see that is all I'm saying. It's only the criminals that is gathering up, in order to frustrate the masses. And what they want to achieve, I do not know. But I know it's not going to be funny. So Tinubu should vacate the illegal cities occupying first. He should leave Nigeria and Africa alone. And all the other West African leaders that is in support of this, look into. With all due respect, they need to consult their doctors, because there is a lot of war in our different um, countries, and we are not even addressing those poverty, hunger, insecurity, and the rest of them. And we are thinking of setting the remaining soul of our country on fire. Any hit in Niger will not affect just Niger. It will affect Nigeria. It will affect Ghana. It will affect the entire West Africa, and we will be, the one losing at the end. So the world should hear it now that the masses, the West African populace, are standing strongly behind Niger. We are not in support. Tinubu and his cabals are the one threatening war. We've seen all the wars that happen around, different places. How it's ending. Look at what's happening in Ukraine today. When US fought war in different countries, how has it been? Have they been successful and all that? Using all this propaganda and politics and all that just to loot people's this thing. Enough. The West should let us be. We are old enough to take care of our problems. All those invisible hands that is creating problem for Africa. I ask them, why Africa? Why Africa? Every time Africa. They're only looking for a means of coming in to loot, and they coming in the name of their useless speech. We don't need it any longer. Enough is enough. They are the one giving us bad leaders. All the leaders you see in Africa are criminals so that they can manipulate them. Those that they have their record, just like the kind of the like of Tinubu. What is holding the US from releasing Tinubu's academic records? That is my question. What is holding the US from releasing his what do you call it? And the rest of it. These are not what we need at this time of this point of time. We should call a spade a spade. Everybody, well-meaning black man, should stand with truth, and the truth is that we don't need war in Niger. Thank you.
Igwe Casey, thank you very much. Thank you for your voice, comments, and all you do. Our mandate is our focus, but now they are distracting us with something really, really sinister and dangerous for the collective. We hope that cool heads prevail, that by tomorrow that this will be called cancelled. We don't want to hear bombs flying because, again, you are right, the war will not just be in Niger. I think the leaders that are going ahead, they forget that bombs also fly to their own country. I don't know if they have the air defense, if they can even deal with the humanitarian catastrophe. Refugees in their millions. I don't know whether they even calculate any of this at all. Thank you very much. Let me rush to Dr.
Stephen, I'm at the airport. I'm at the gate. Could I please go? Other people.
Yes, because you are the.
So
go ahead. I'll go to Dr. Moss. I'll go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm speaking to you guys from Mogadishu, the capital city of Somalia. We condemn this aggression against a fellow African brother. ECOWAS is doing this under the pushing of Western countries. They are being given intelligence, military intelligence, to go into Niger and destroy that country so that the West can steal natural resources of Niger. But we do understand that the West African citizens are against what their countries are doing. But there's only African leaders that do not listen to their own citizens, but rather listen to our Western leaders and do their bidding for them. In other countries, in other countries, what they call this kind of behavior is house N. It's a matter of house N that's going on right now. So we condemn all the way from East Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We join you, brother, to condemn this craziness. We hope that you guys in East Africa and everywhere else add your voice online and offline, and make tweets and tag all the international agencies. Let them know that the people of Africa, West Africa in particular, and Nigerians, we Nigerians, do not support this war at all. And I want the Nigerians in the house to know that you'll be surprised. A lot of Nigerians are so solidly with you, because we understand that this is a power tussle between world powers. Africa should not be a playground. They should not test their useless weapons on Africans. Thank you very much. I hope you have a safe flight. Let me rush to Dr. Mosi Gondu.
Um, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are at. I think this topic is actually very important topic, considering how I saw this analysis that Nigeria, sorry, ECOWAS has kind of given given an order for the military defense intervention in Nigeria. I think this is very miscalculating and very wrong approach. As someone rightly put it, on what basis? Because we need to ask ourselves a question, simple question, like what are we going to do? There is actually no single African. Forget about Nigeria. There is no single African, including the people who are miscalculating it themselves, who thinks, oh, they are kind of doing it for other for something. Nobody will benefit. No single African. So this is even more of a Western fight. People are fighting for impunity. So it is foolishness, if you ask me. Actually, it's foolishness. Because you can't tell me that for the sake of so-called democracy, and while a lot of those, even the ECOWAS itself, some people, some founders of ECOWAS were from the beginning, they were product of coups. You understand? So on what basis are you saying that people who quote unquote they are having their sovereign country, you want to intervene, you want to act as a senior prefect? You understand? So this is actually I find it is actually not logical, because ECOWAS should kind of support Niger against France, because this fight is more of, it is very clear that these people, they don't want France in their state. France have been exploiting their resources, so they are kind of rising against this France. On what basis the Africans that should be their support, that should support fellow Africans, they said, oh no, we want to fight? On what basis the France have interest? On what basis Americans want to come? On what basis Russia wants to support Niger? Because of their issue with France. You understand? France, they want uranium here. All this one, they want this to depend on them. And it's because they know that once these people they are fully independent of the fight against this imperialist, this France, it is over for them. So why should now ECOWAS, you claim to be, oh, Africa for all, we are all Africans and all? So this democracy, if at least we, okay, I understand that negotiation is good and all, but if negotiation doesn't work, then need people to go with their government. Any single option is better than military intervention. Think of any single option is actually better than military intervention. So if you ask me, and we have a lot of pre-existing problem in Nigeria. As someone rightly mentioned, Boko Haram, bandits, a lot of problems. People are actually even suffering. People are suffering currently. So you have not even eliminated all these problems. You just want to go for another, creating more problems. So we will continue talking about it, and we will ask a lot of right authorities to speak against it. And yeah, we believe that we will keep putting more pressure. Even though I heard someone say, oh, the presidency says they will not put pressure, they will just do this and that. We don't care. We will keep pressurizing and make sure that such action, or any person who is trying to kind of push the ECOWAS or Nigerian president to go to intervene in the Niger matter is very condemnable. Actually, as I said earlier, they are miscalculating. We cannot fight for Russia. We cannot fight for France. Sorry. Yes, they have never supported us. Why should we support them? On what basis? Why? You know, quote unquote, these people, they don't even like us. So it is more of a war of Western influence, but the war zone is in Africa. That is the problem. We need to think of it. Who are more likely to be affected? They are Africans, all Africans. The only some fraction of or some people are saying, oh, we can resolve the problem through military intervention within 2 hours because of military. Yes, I know that Nigeria or ECOWAS itself has more military strength and everything against Niger, but you need to look at the matter in a holistic, right? We need to view it in a holistic lens, through holistic lenses. This is beyond Africa. In fact, as I said, it is more of Western. The only problem is that it is within the African territory. So that's why you see all these Russia, France, all they are very, very ready. Imagine France saying, oh, they are ready to help Nigeria. They are ready to help ECOWAS. On what basis? Just because
We
their
don't want
means of
their help. Please round
just
up. We
because
don't want
yeah,
their useless help.
yeah, just because their means of exploitation within the territory of France is at stake. That is the only reason. So everything should be asked. Why this person wants to help me? So the reason why he wants to help you, that's what you should know and act upon. Not just because he wants to help you, you want to get some Western recognition at the end of your African society. Thank you very much. I think we should all condemn it, honestly.
Thank you so much. We should all condemn it absolutely. Officials, I will go, then GROV, then I'll come to Engine, then Mark. Officials out.
All right. Good evening, Mr. Steve. Good evening, everybody. Mr. Kunle, good evening, sir. And Jerry, I greet you. You know, um, what is happening now is quite a pity that it has point. You know, sometimes when things we Nigerians we normally uh, problem when it's face. We don't try to uh, follow the trail of that problem, know where it starts, what caused it, or how uh, did it start. And that has been our problem so far. The other day, I was in a space where I was explaining how this whole thing started, and somebody came up there and was like, "I did I read it from Google and all that." I was laughing to the person. You see this issue. I made an exposition the other day, about 2 weeks now, where uh, it was a US CIA that explained what has happened at a period of time before now, and what is happening now, and what will happen later after now. I tried to chat up some people to host space so that we can explain and digest that exposition and and let everybody be aware of what is actually playing out. But all to no avail. They didn't take it serious. Now we're seeing it playing out. You see, US, this whole thing started over since last 2 years thereabout. Yeah, last year when it became serious was last year, beginning of last year, when we heard that China warship surfaced in Nigeria. Sure, nobody knows or ask why China warship surfaced in Nigeria till today. Nobody knows why. Then it happens that China is in a big war also with US, where China tried to reopen talk with US about Taiwan, trying to tell US to stop.
You need to round up.
That is the all right. I will round up.
I'm sorry, Mr. Steve. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Thank you.
No, let me round up. It's not your turn yet.
Official
Official, are you
South.
done?
Official South.
Yeah. Hello. You said?
When you go there talk one while like person wey dey pick pick. Why your submission no go long? Dey find 20 minutes to talk.
No, no verse.
Wow.
No verse. I've been waiting since
Are you
now, but
done?
it's just that I need to time this whole thing. This thing is serious.
Why you dey talk one like say you dey pick beans? Oga talk.
Don't mind me. See, was scheduled on the 17th of February between US government and the China government, which China government couldn't meet up that meeting. Where when they couldn't reach an agreement, China has to tell US that if they didn't stop reach out agreement on the Taiwan issue, that they will take take Nigeria, knowing fully well Nigeria is a better ally interest to US. It became an issue in US government considering the interest they have in Nigeria, because they have a lot of interest, even the ones we don't know. The ones we don't know. So now, to avert China from intruding to Nigeria, US have to start implementing this called covert chef strategy. Now, if you check that exposition, you will see how they explain what covert chef strategy is. It's a very strategy of US government used to manipulate another country's government, both in their election to protect their own interests. Tinubu came to play. Initially, US never wanted Tinubu. They never wanted Tinubu.
Your story is too long and confusing at the same time. So kind of tie it together so that we'll continue another day when you have time to talk about the story of US interest in the world, which is very complicated. You don't understand. That means if I don't, that means many people don't either. So let's tie it together. Official out. To hold on to your thoughts there. JRV, go. We want to end the space, so let's quickly reach out to as many as we can. JRV, what's on your mind?
Okay, good evening. Sorry, please. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Steve. I want to really appreciate you for, I mean, for always standing up for justice and standing up against injustice. I mean, I think this just you are not just doing it for the country, but for the country as the whole. Thank you so much for this wonderful space. I want to, for me as a Nigerian, I totally condemned and I'm not in support. And I believe millions of Nigerians as well, every Nigerians and Africans, we are not in support of war or the plans or the move to kill our fellow brothers and sisters in Africa and especially in a neighboring country like Niger. And you know, Nigeria, our country, being the like a senior brother and giant of Africa. I don't think this is a good move, and it is oh, for me, my own view or my own opinion, what these guys are doing, the ECOWAS or the West African countries in ECOWAS, are just it is just the fear because they know how they are leading their people. They know how they are serving. They know that they are stealing from the common people and they are colliding with the Westerners to enslave the people of Africa that they are leading. And my own question to ECOWAS, why would military government or military take over Niger and the people of Niger are very happy and you won't fight Niger? ECOWAS, to the best of my knowledge, is not for one man. ECOWAS is for everybody, every Africans, for every man, as far as your country is a member of ECOWAS. ECOWAS is to serve that country. Now, the question is, or are, because there are many questions, but I will just ask them one. Why is ECOWAS now fighting for one man? Why? It's because the Bola Ahmed Tinubu and colleagues they know that they are not serving their country well. So these men are just scared because you know they have failed. These men are using democracy to fraud fellow Africans. I mean, sorry to say that, but I'm telling you, are we Africans have we seen the dividends of democracy? We are not. They are not serving well. Now, people are trying to the Niger military. They have seen the survival of their people, like from some analysis, right? You see, Niger is very blessed with natural resources, but now Niger is one of the poorest country in Africa. Niger is one of the poorest country in Africa. Now people stood up, and their people agree. ECOWAS is going to fight for one man, and they said one man must. What is here is ECOWAS is not the one leading themselves. Leader of ECOWAS is being controlled. So I and a lot of many of us on this page, Nigerians, we totally disagree and disassociate ourselves with what the chairman that they have selected of ECOWAS is doing. We are not in support of it. We will never be in support of it. We can't be killing our brothers. We can never be fighting and be killing our brothers. And now, to the Westerners, please leave us alone. We can be better. Let us lead ourselves. Please, I'm begging you. And I'm calling on all Africans, whether you are from West Africa, any part of Africa you are coming from, we have suffered a lot. We are a continent that is so blessed. They keep on saying Africa is the future. When is the future? The future is now. We have to unite and make sure we make Africa great again. We have to come together, join our voice together wherever you are, any part of Africa you are. Like Mr. Steve said here on the space, online and offline, you can exercise peacefully, standing up against killing our fellow brothers in Africa. Brother, injustice for one, is injustice for all. If it happens tomorrow, it's gonna touch everybody. If it happens today, it's gonna touch everybody. Niger share border with other African countries. If it happens, Mali and other military countries in Africa will partner with Niger. And at the end of the day, it's gonna affect everybody. It is not just about affecting everybody. We cannot kill our brothers because they want to be free from the hands of the Westerners that have been enslaving us for this while. We must be free and we can be alone. I'm still okay. I will please. I wonder why we call ourselves independent countries, independent continent. Meanwhile, our leaders are so wicked, very devilish people, very devilish set of human beings to continue to be depending on the Westerners, and the Westerners are using them. Please, my fellow African, I'm an African and I'm very proud to be an African. Please, let's rise up against the plan of killing our Niger brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers, and human beings. God bless. Please tweet any on all your platform, on all your platform. Let it be trending. Say no
Thank
to
you.
war. Thank you so much, Stephen. God bless.
Thank you. The hashtag is no war in Niger. Hashtag no war in Niger. All right, we're trying to round off. We've been on for over 12 hours. We'll keep the conversation going. Please mute your mic when you come up. Let me see if I can bring the lady up. Kenyan German lady.
Hi everyone. Hello. Hello. I have also been waiting, so it would be kind if we just give each other a chance to speak. I was born in Kenya, Kenyan parents, and the war is gonna affect all of us. First of all, I'd like to see that and point out the fact that uh, what is going to come out of this whole situation is the strengthening of BRICS that they're overseeing and sending troops to Africa to fight amongst each other. Well, I'd like to tell the European states and the United States that there are wars and protests in Europe every single day. They should be interfering with that and leave Africa alone. We do not want their interference. We do not want their embassies meddling in our affairs. They should leave Africa in peace. They should be interfering in what is going on in France because France is running down. They should leave us alone. So BRICS is going to be strengthened through these wars. And I'd like to remind us of the principles of ECOWAS. Huh? One of them is equality and interdependence of member states, solidarity and collective self-reliance, cooperation, harmonization of policies, integration of programs, non-aggression between member states, maintenance of regional peace, stability, and security. So it was fulfilling in this with their 15 member states. Why they solve the ECOWAS? According to what I'm hearing, it is only Nigeria with the loudest voice among 15 nations. So whoever pays the piper plays the tune, calls the tune. Who is funding Nigeria? That is what we need to be concerned about. And these people should stop stopping protests in Africa because there are protests in Europe in each and every city every single day. People gluing themselves to the roads. They should be concerned about that and leave Africa alone. We are tired. Africa did not cause the wars in Europe. When the war started in Ukraine, African students were forced to stay back to fight wars they never began. And I went to rescue them myself. And we were begging them. Imagine mothers, especially mothers in the country. They were putting students back, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, to fight their wars. Now that they have failed in their country, they've sent them to Africa. We want Africa, the whole of Africa, the voice should be loud for the EFF, and we want them to leave Niger in peace because Niger has its situation under control. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can I jump in or is it?
Hold
I
on.
was
I was
speaking.
supposed to be the next
Let's
speaker,
make
but
it rowdy. Everybody mute who come to just be patient. I don't know you see we're going one after the other. Raise your hand so I don't
I want to be the next speaker after RTV, but they skip me.
Okay. Yeah, I did call you earlier. Go ahead then. Go ahead. I did call you earlier.
Sorry, let me step out.
Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone.
1 second. 1 second, my brother. Kenyan lady, you have something to add?
No, I just wanted to say thank you very much for the space and please let's keeping pressure on the governments and we should unite and there should be protests because protests are what build European and United States right now. Thank you. I'll just step down for someone else to take the space.
Let me, before you step down, thank you for adding your voice. I see you're in Berlin. I hope you guys can gather yourselves, those that are African affiliated and have a protest in Berlin as well, and every part of the world where we are. And let's add our voices. Don't say you're not home. Do what you can where you are. Write to your representatives. Let them know we do not support this war in Africa. Engine
Thank you.
Njomakuel, a Cameroonian man. Go ahead. My brother from Cameroon. Go ahead. Engineer.
I'm
Engineer.
trying to unmute my mic. Okay. Good evening,
All right.
everyone.
Good evening.
I'm from Cameroon, and I've been listening to everyone's contribution, and I think our main problem is France. Our main problem is France. If you look at all the countries that France annexed, none of them is doing very well. If you notice, I'll use our country, Cameroon, as an example. We annexed by France and Britain. The two Anglophone zones of Cameroon are suffering today since 2015 because of war. War is not a good approach. War is not a good approach. Secondly, there was a coup in France, in our neighboring country, Chad. There was a coup there, and France supported the coup. Why did France support the coup? Because it was for their interest. The problem in Niger, yes, the coup happened, and we don't support military intervention, but the people are happy. What is democracy? Democracy is all about what the people want. That's democracy. Irrespective if it's military rule or not a military rule. When Thomas Sankara was in power, things were going well for Burkina Faso. There was a military rule. The people support the what happened in Niger. So I don't think other countries should impose sanctions or impose a military intervention in the country. It happened in Burkina Faso, and the same ECOWAS did not intervene. Why did ECOWAS not intervene then? Why they don't want to intervene now? As I said, France is behind this. The same thing happens in Libya. When Gaddafi refused France interest, they said Gaddafi, uh, the 9/11 attack by Osama bin Laden was planned in Libya of Gaddafi, just because their interest was refused in Libya. And Libya was doing very well. After Gaddafi went, Libya became a breeding ground of terrorists. And that's why the whole Africa is suffering from the effect of terrorism. The best thing to do is to kick out France from Africa, and Africa will go peacefully without the problem. Now, ECOWAS is trying to intervene with military intervention in Niger. Let's not forget that there's a French military camp right now in Niger, and also a United States military base in Niger, and they have not evacuated their soldiers yet. If there's an intervention now, it's definite that those military camps will obviously support ECOWAS to fight against Niger. And it will not be a war of maybe 24 hours, as people say. It's not 24 hours. It will take longer. Wars don't take a lot of time. See what is happening in Ukraine now. It's almost going to a year and some months. So, what I would just like to contribute is that if there's a way possible that we can make France leave Africa alone, it will be the best that can happen to us in Africa. Thank you very much, and good evening to all.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's kind of tie our conversation as we round off towards solutions. Let's not rehash this history. And if ECOWAS is going, they've already decided. Actually, what can we do as citizens? Mark, Cross, uh, such a German.
Yes, I'm
Um,
German and I'm white and I'm in favor for Niger. Niger has done the right thing. If I hear the Niger who are in power at the moment speaking, it really it blows my mind. Also Burkina Faso, these are leaders. You have democracy. You are. It comes from the villages, from the people what they want, and this is the right thing. In Europe, there's no democracy. Forget it. Germany is still occupied. And it's all about like this other speaker. The last two speakers are 100% right. You have to get rid of the influence of France. And it is all led by the Americans. They are pushing you and blackmailing you. Like the Kenyan president, I don't know, I put it in the nest on top. Our meeting with the USA actually runs. It shocked me. I did not know. These 50 members had 1.5 minutes to explain their matters in their countries, and they had dictated, and they even had to come through the back door and not the front door. It is hilarious how they treat you. And it is all about the BRICS. They are going after you because they want to pull you out of the BRICS. You have to join the BRICS. And this has to do with the fall of the petrodollar, which actually funds all these wars from the US. And it is a good thing. And stay strong and start getting paid. You can make business with the West, but let them pay you on eye level. They pay you not enough. And they hold you as slaves. And it is so terrible. I feel for you, and you are right. You have to stand up. All of Africa has to stand together and get paid. Get paid in gold. Get paid in your currency. Get rid of the dollar. Get paid that you can rise. That you don't uh, have to buy something again in this other currency, where you actually just can buy weapons and other stuff. It is really you have to get rid of euro. You have to get rid of the US dollar. Euro is going down, and actually they want this influence over there because France needs the nuclear stuff from Niger, and France is the power source at the moment of Germany, and Germany is occupied, and the US wants Germany to be down, the economy to be down. They can buy it up cheap. This is the master plan. Also, the Nigerian pipeline who goes through Niger to supply Europe. They want to make a conflict there that it doesn't flow and it doesn't come in place. That really Europe is going down. We are going down. This has been made up and we cannot change it to the blow up of the Nord Stream. I stand for Africa and stand for Niger, and we don't need any war down there.
Thank
Stay
you.
strong.
Please join other German citizens that support this and write to your government and join the protest wherever you are. We're going to be, we imagine like tomorrow there will be different kind of people demonstrations at the embassies of this government, particularly the French government and the US government, and that are supporting this. Although I am yet to see a full statement from France, but again, we know where the fingers point. So people should be able to show that we don't want this war. Our leaders are not following our will. We Nigerians, which is the biggest bloc in ECOWAS, do not want this war. And I imagine our soldiers also feel the same. So please let the message be out there. Nigerians are not supporting this. Let it not go across. Oh, Nigerians are going to fight. No, 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 that's not true. Tinubu is fighting a war for whoever asks him to. He does not represent us. I'd like to bring the lady up if I can do that. Hey, lady in the house, can you wave on the top? Any ladies up here? Otherwise, well, okay, yeah, we found one lady. Go ahead, lady.
Am I the lady? My name is Njenje. Can you hear me?
You'll be the lady, yeah.
Yes, can you hear me better?
Much better.
Okay, that was at work. And myself, I'm Adrian Van and I am in Los Angeles, California. I'm Senegalese. And as you know, we already have some issue in Senegal, president and all what he's doing. And at the same time, we know that our soldiers have decided not to go to war. Our parliament vote to make sure that we don't go to war. Situation is this: what we're going to do? We saw a situation almost.
One second.
Yeah.
You saying that in Senegal, the parliament
Yeah.
voted against?
Yeah, against the war, against the war already. Voted, I think.
I can tell you exactly the same thing happened in Nigerian parliament.
I know.
But guess what? Your president, I watched your president on TV saying that Senegal is unanimous that they are going in.
He lied. He lied. You know, he's lying and lying and lying again, over and over again. We catch him lying.
Our own president also lied. It's like they all lie.
And you know, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs lies when they kill people, they kill 60 young people. The weapon was shot by the military, the police, and some militia that they hired and give them the weapon that was given by France. We know about that. We have the proof. We already also have to go to the international court to make sure that they will not leave the country when we're going to go to the election in 2024. I'm one of the leaders in California, the opposition leaders, but I'm the representative of one of the opposition leaders in Los Angeles, and we're going to work on that. Believe us, we are not stepping down.
Sorry to disappoint you, but the international court is also in the Hague.
Corrupt. I know it's corrupt. It's also corrupt. But, yeah, I know that.
Problems with those who started the problem.
I know that. I know also that. I travel and I work in different African countries. In 22 and in war zone, I was there in different places like Sudan, Burundi, Rwanda. I saw on my eyes in Latin America because I speak Spanish too. I know what is happening and I saw it. We're going to find a way to make sure that these people will be punished. Now, regarding what is happening in Niger, French-speaking country, of course, France doesn't want this to change. You know, it's true that it's still people are saying, okay, France has another uranium from Niger. Well, if you don't need it, then leave the people alone. Since these people took the line, you know, Mali, the coup in Mali, Guinea, etc., etc., you know that this zone is where the jihadists were. You know, this zone is where you have clean drinking water for 1,000 years. We know what they want to do there also. We know that there is commodity, but the biggest commodity that Africa has is water. Check, I'm going to put the map. Now, what we're going to do? What is the solution? I will ask each and every one of us. First, yes, we're going to march, we're going to, where we have more power on everything is boycott. How many people are we on this platform? How many times we can use an hashtag? How many many people all over the world, because the Black community is not only in Africa. We know we have the diaspora. We have also Latin America. People are supporting us. Now what we're going to do, where we're going to go, boycott, boycott, and boycott is also with the money that we can also show how not going to go to this country. See, one thing that I've never done in my life, again, I travel everywhere in the world, but Northern Africa. I don't go in country in North Africa. I'm maybe one person, but I want my soul to be nice, to be fine with my people. I don't go. I never traveled there. I went to all Latin America, and I'm still here working with Latin American people from Latin American countries. This is the only place I haven't been. That is how you call it, Tunisia, Morocco, all these countries. I've never been there. Later that I've been on the eastern part of Africa, I saw my sister, Ethiopian sister, Denane sister, and I saw people from Uganda, Rwanda, Amakuro. You see, I speak different languages. I try. Huh?
We are trying to close this space.
Say it again?
If we try to round up, we want to get as much as we can before we round
Yeah,
up.
meaning that's what I'm asking. Let's boycott. Let's make sure that our leaders know what we don't want, but make sure that we have our power in the money. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you too for adding your voice. Um, Go ahead and follow the account. Let's stay in touch. Please mute your mic. Mute your mic, please. You want to go next, but hold on. Let's make sure. Please, if you are just joining us, go ahead and follow this account so you can know when we come back on. We'll try to keep this topic going forward. We want to add our voice wherever you are. Write to your congressman if you're in the U.S., House of Commons, if you're in France, um, wherever you are in the world. Add your voice both online and physically. Use the hashtag No War in Niger. No War in Niger. Hashtag. Thank you for joining the space. Our brother from Ethiopia, where is he? Did he drop off? Okay, let me see if I can get him back, or he was supposed to go next. Um, let's go straight to the point.
Thank
Elevator.
you, brother. Really appreciate it. I use most space. I'm also a space booster. I'm Horn African community. I'm Somali. I'm American. I live here in DC. I want to thank everyone is here. It's important in this space. You need to hold more of this. I just want to talk about a couple of points. I know you're trying to wrap it up. We used to have a protest last summer. We used to have a hashtag called No More, and basically it was the same issue. Today is in Nigeria, sorry, Niger. Yesterday was Ethiopia. Before that was another day. And it looks like every community where something happens, they start a hashtag, and then nobody else joins. So our my brothers in West Africa, we're from East Africa. We've been on the road on the street every day for the last 2 years. I used so many protests in New York and DC. I never seen none of you brothers there. You never can support us. We're gonna come support you, but you need to look yourself in the mirror and join us all together. Cause unite we can win. That's the only thing. I put something on the jumbo trap. I'm Somalian. This is what's happening there. They overthrow a president that people elect, and they put a puppet in there, and nobody wants it. Yesterday, his chief of staff like, resigned because it was a leak that he was involved talking to connections with Al Qaeda. I put on jumbo trap. He resigned. Think about that. 30 days from today is going to be 9/11 anniversary. U.S. government is bobbing up Al Qaeda. Think about that. We need to tell our story to American people. This State Department, this current United States government, they're now working in the interest of American people. Sometimes
So
regimes
I hear,
and the Kudake.
I hear.
Go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
I hear you. I hear you. Let's go to solutions again. I hear
Solution.
you. We need
Solution. Yes.
Africans to
African problem.
work together.
African
We
solution.
need to work together to find solutions.
Yes.
Yep.
African
Yep. Go
problem.
ahead. Round up.
African solution. African problem.
Thank you.
African solution. The
Thank you.
military Kudake there, they're not there because of their own interest. Because they went there and did that because they see their country getting looted, the people getting destroyed. I'm Somalian. The best thing for Somalia was back from 69 to 91 when we have the military government. From 91 up to Siad Barre, look at us. We are refugees everywhere in the world. We got pirates. We got Shabab. We got terrorists. We got suicide bombers. The 21 years peaceful time in Somalia, 21 years the military, schools, free medicine, free schools. Sometimes it's necessary to have a government for the people. I don't care what you call it. Democracy. The biggest dictators in Africa, in East Africa, are from Uganda. You know how long it's been there? 40 years. How about Djibouti? And they are the poorest country in Africa, in the Horn Africa, Djibouti. And he's been there for 40 years. French colony. 90% of people live poverty. And they never
Thank
talk
you
about
very much.
democracy. They never give a chance to Djiboutian people.
Thank you very
Thank
much. I hear you. I really appreciate your passion. I can feel the anger and pain that we all feel. How Africa has continued to fail, and because we have selfish leaders who do the bidding of their Western their backers against the wills of the people. But Africans must rise up and begin to take back their country. We in Nigeria, we did that. We voted. We rigged the elections, and we're insisting on our vote counting because indeed, once the people's voices are heard, government that reflects their wish comes true. So let us find ways to push back against these tyrannical governments all across our continent. African solutions by Africans. Thank you so much, brother from Horn. Thank you so much. Let's keep the conversation kind of. My challenge is a lot of people's hands are up, particularly people who are not asleep. Wow, while I do. Um, I don't know. Anyway, what do we do? We need to round off, but more people. What's
Can I,
going on?
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Anyway, let me yield to you, I beg. Go ahead.
can I ask you
Oga, hold on, calm down, please. Let's be civil, please. If you're not called, please don't unmute. There are a lot of people here before you, so it's just best we allow them speak first before you go. All right, so I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a lady marked, I think marked save. You
Yes.
go next, and then we'll take Joe Paul. We'll take Bright and Jaguar in that order. Please let's keep it quick. 2 minutes, please. Once I start waving, please just know that it's time up, please. I don't want to interject, please. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Thank you. Um, for, my name is actually Bumi, and I live in the States. And I hear I grew up in Nigeria, by the way. What the host was saying, he wants to hear about solutions and a lot of things we can all hear. And I just feel like you can't solve a problem you don't understand, and we really do understand this particular problem. Unfortunately, it's not our fault. We live in the age of disinformation, and disinformation, we just need to be aware of it. So, for instance, I'm hearing of Africans, Nigerians, educated people going on about democracy and about how coups are bad. Even in the West, they don't really practice democracy. They certainly do not practice democracy in the US. Oligarchs choose presidents. People with money, corporations choose the presidents, not the people. There was a study by Princeton that said that 70% of Americans don't feel like anything that they want gets done by the government, and that's just a fact. So these are just narratives that we push on us and we regurgitate. And as Africans, we just seem to have this desire to want to know the buzzwords, democracy, coups, bad, blah, blah, blah. But we're in an age where we have to be able to think critically. The same US and the Western governments that are judging Niger's coup, they organized the coup in Pakistan and they're still friendly with the military regime that is there right now. So these are just like buzzwords for us to make us, I don't know, I don't want to insult us, but like we have to get a bit smarter than this. We have to understand how the world actually really works. And the reality is the West, they don't have a lot of resources. There's always no news about themselves. And they created a world through international finance, laws, international trade laws that benefits them, and those are the things we have to address. And so the Italian Prime Minister spoke about what France is doing in Francophone Africa. Nobody, I see your, wait, I'll wrap it up, sorry. I, until she spoke about it, it was like the world didn't know. And so we have to find a way to amplify our own voices. And but first, we have to actually understand the situation we're in, and we really do not yet. So I'll leave it at that for now.
Hmm. Unfortunately, it's almost like we don't even understand what exactly is going on because the whole thing still looks like if we're all thinking this way, obviously those at the top who are who are actually involved in making this whole thing happen also know that this is what it is for them. Why are they not seeing it the way we are seeing it? Is it that it's not going to affect them, or I don't understand? Do they have
They
a
are they
different
are they're
understanding?
compromised too, and this is why I'm sorry to interrupt her. This is, uh, we really have to see what the fuck.
on. Like the president of Tanzania, I'm pretty sure they just killed him because he was doing what we say we want every African leader to do. He was forcing multinationals to renegotiate contracts. He was forcing them to clean up the ecological mess. He was canceling. He was doing what we want an African president to do. All of a sudden, they started smearing him. They were missing his one word from any African, not one, not a little bit of pushback. And this is not the 1960s or whatever. How are they still killing and getting rid of our good leaders right under our nose and saying nothing? It's the same thing in Niger. I mean, they're actually like really upset about this. They're upset. They're still parroting, oh, who is bad, who is bad, who is bad. This is bigger than what is good or what is bad. Nothing is good or bad. It all depends on how you use it and when you just don't seem to understand that.
Exactly. I agree with you on that aspect of nothing is bad because um, imagine in Nigeria, people are happy that they actually had a coup, even if we are taught to perceive coup as a bad thing, but then Nigerians are happy because it's much more better than the government that they had that was, tagged democracy. I can bet you that not it will not favor Nigerians because I think it's only what is good depends on whoever is taking that thing, how it is used, just like you said, because in the end, we cannot, Nigerians cannot pray for it because we know it's going to enter the wrong hands at the end of the day. These are people that are already corrupt and compromised, and we know the outcome of this, what is going to be at the end of the day. So what might favor it if who is favoring Nigeria, it might never favor Nigeria. So it just depends on how whatever however it is used. So you're right on that. So Bright, you have the mic then. Sorry, is it Joe Paul before Bright?
Yes. Could I continue after the lady? That was
No, you're not the one coming after her. Sorry, please mute your mic. I think it's Joe Paul before Bright. Yeah, that's
Thank you, my sister Ariwa. Your brain is still very sharp, and I want to commend you that since morning you've been upstanding here, trying to control everything that is going here. Kudos to you. Thank you very much. This is for me. I think I'm talking to Africa now because I don't see myself as a Nigerian. I don't see myself as a cross Riverian. I don't see myself anything than an African man. And my longing for life is Africa without boundary, whereby anybody with the black blood, the black descent, the black genetics in your body, we have to unite. It is the time to unite across the globe and fight a fight of faith, a fight of brotherhood until we conquer and regain back our freedom and independence that we once had before the invasion of the West in this continent and this environment that is so much endowed with a lot of resources. Now, first of all, let me just briefly point out some things. David Macron was in Nigeria between 1998 to 2006 as a graduate intern in the French embassy in Lagos State. I want us to be worried that this drug lord called Tinubu must have had contact with him at that very tender age, seeing him as a prospect of somebody he will be able to use as his target and cover up in the future. Number two, who is the president among the ECOWAS president that just gave the briefing of the emergency meeting today? Alexei of Ivory Coast. This is a man that is also is pushed to the West, who has finished a 10 years a tenure in Ivory Coast, and then later went ahead and amended the constitution and has won election against the mind and the decision of Ivorian. He is 81 years old. That man that gave the press briefing today. Number three, I want us to also understand that in the whole world, I have gone through a lot of documents.
the most peaceful and bloodless coup in the whole surface of the earth now, as far as research can go, is the coup that went on in Niger just 2 weeks ago. No life was lost. And it shows that it is more of a transition and that people just were fed up and they just want their own to take their destiny in their own hands. Now let me talk about solutions and my suggestions. Number one is that people of the black race will have to unite across the globe. Whichever country you are, it is Africa without boundary. Let us organize ourselves, go to the countries, especially these world powers, France, America, Germany, England, and most of these Western countries, Canada, go to their governing house and then sign a protest and say, we don't want fight again in Africa. Whose interest is being protected in all that is happening in Africa now? So we have to unite regardless of the country you came from to make sure that this is stopped. Number two, I will also want to appeal that all of us in different countries in Africa, we should begin to sponsor class actions and go to our legislative houses and say, we don't want this to happen. Number three, can we begin to talk to our brothers and sisters who are in the army, especially in ECOWAS and AU, which will be used to fight this war that is aimless, that is brainless, to now put in resignation and say, we don't want to work in the military again. If you have who you want to go and fight, our own brother, and I tell you that if there is this class action and a state out, I'm telling you that this issue will be relayed to rest. And finally, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, our brothers and sisters across the globe, supporters of the Black race, the African descent. I want to thank you all, and I want to say, let us follow each other. Let us keep on discussing. And I'm very sure Stephen is not going to allow this space to just go again to a state of solitude anymore. We need to continue to talk and put in our ideas and see how we pressure this government, because the world is a digital world now, to make use of our digital handles and also see how we can
Thank
influence the
you.
world from our direction.
Thank you, Jupo. Thank you. God bless you. Don't worry. We're not going to solitude again. We're going to keep up. Thank you. God bless you. All right, Bright. Over to you there. I think I need you. Thank
Yeah, good evening. I hope I'm coming out clear.
you. Yes.
Yeah. My name is Bright. I want to speak to my brothers and my sisters. I follow Biafrans, not Africa, because Africa is a fraud name. This is a time for us to unite together. Niger war to the Nigeria is a temptation time for us. But my problem is that our people always support all these puppets. Because there are still some people here that are still in support of all these puppets that West are using to colonize us. More. Why am I making this case is that Nigeria going to war will be a disastrous to Africa, to Biafra, because we are all Biafras. I want to call everyone here because
All right, Casey, over to you then. Scoopy. Then we'll take Jesse in that order. Thank you. Casey, over.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible, by the way?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
great. Thank you for bringing me up, first of all, and for hosting this space. It's been very informative. and I'm 100% behind the hashtag initiative, and going to the foreign embassies to make obviously the movement much more impactful. I've been following this West African conflict for a few weeks now, and it's actually insane how quickly matters have escalated. Someone earlier have said that it's part of the depopulation tactic which the westernized forces are using, which I agree with, and I think it's to do obviously with emptying the African continent for future use. So it's very, so I think it's very important that people are mindful of this. The reason why I've also grabbed the mic is to applaud the activism that I've been seeing in this space, which I think is very refreshing. But I also want to condemn the Somali speakers who've been, brought up a few times because they've been negatively painting a very false perception and bringing their narrative to the stage, which I think is very selfish, considering how sensitive this topic is and hijacking the space as well. I do suggest that everyone does read upon the current government because they've done an amazing job with eradicating Al-Shabaab. 80% of Al-Shabaab have been eradicated by the current government. The previous government actually were in cahoots with Al-Shabaab, if you want to know the truth. The people that you have brought up are part of the fascist regime. So they actually go into these spaces to promote their agenda, and they are using the Pan-African spaces to promote false narratives, to undermine the government. The things that you guys are seeing on the news are actually proxy wars that have been started by these fascist groups to undermine the president Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, who's done an amazing job. So I have posted some articles in the comment section. Please have a look. You will see that the previous government actually robbed 1.5 billion, and they were actually, licensing our fishing to the Chinese. They have caused a lot of destruction. Everything that you've been hearing on the space is just false narratives, very baseless, and I actually condemn them, and I think it's very, very pathetic that they're using Pan-African spaces.
Sorry, excuse me, please, if I may ask a
Yeah.
question. What exactly is false narrative?
For example, one of the speakers earlier, I think it's called Kunie, he was basically saying that the current government actually have given the
current government, just to be
so
clear,
the current government was elected last year, and the president is called Hassan Sheikh Mohamud. He's actually leading the UPD ideology.
Sorry, which country are we talking
Somalia. We're talking
about?
about Somalia.
Okay. Right now, I think we're confused now because,
So,
no, okay, just going to allow you.
If you just finish, if
wrap
you
that
if
up.
you let me, I'm just the reason
Yeah,
why
because
the
we're confused.
reason why I obviously came to this space is to kind of understand what's happening with the West African conflict, which I've been following very closely. But the reason why I also grabbed the mic is because the false narrative that's been spewed. So I'm just gonna let the audience to judge for themselves. I have posted some articles in the comment section, but I just want to condemn those fascist groups that's been coming to these spaces and hijacking the Pan-African space to promote their own agenda. One of the speakers that you brought up earlier, I think it's called Sheikh Hersey. He's actually wanted for rape as well in the US, in Canada. So I suggest people do their research and to be careful who you bring up. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Right now it will be very difficult. Thanks for your input because there are always two sides to every story.
Yeah, which is why I
But,
said have a read through, do your research.
Exactly, and that's even the reason why I allowed you to just quickly wrap up because. But then I'm going to set the room straight. The topic still remains the breaking news that ECOWAS is declaring war on Niger military as no war in Niger. I would want us, whoever speaker is coming here to speak, to please surround their submission around the topic, please, because it will be difficult for us to be. We can't start dipping our hands into other countries' issues because we don't understand it. We don't understand what
Exactly.
is happening there. So that we don't find ourselves trying to look for solutions for another problem and then dip our hands into another problem. We don't know anybody coming to the speaker session. We don't know any of you personally. We don't have, some of us might even have zero information about what is happening in the country or know the details. So, as regards us not knowing the details because we are not from your country, it will be safe for you to just come here and discuss on the topic.
Which
Please,
is why I was condemning those people, because I felt that was very selfish
all
and
right,
really rude as well.
all right,
So
thank you.
apology on our side. Thank you.
No problem. So please, if you are coming up here to speak, please focus on the topic, and please don't. I don't think it would be wise for us to bring other countries' internal issues that we don't understand here. We would come off like we're biased. But we don't have information. We don't know who is saying the truth and who is lying or the details. So please, let's restrict our submission to the topic so that we don't dabble into more sensitive things that we don't understand. Please, thank you very much. All right, so I'm just going to. Did I take a cue? No, I didn't. All right, so
Am I supposed to be next?
no, you're not supposed to be next because I've not taken a cue.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I did. Okay, please. If I did, I'm sure you should be next then. Sorry.
I appreciate that. I just wanted to quickly add my voice to the many Nigerians who have come before me. I am a citizen of Niger, and it's very great to hear the support of everyone speaking out against this aggression and this potential assault on our country. And so, lots of gratitude. I do think that this is very kind. Um, as we think about solutions, how to speak out against this war, I would encourage everyone to also keep the Nigerian people in mind. There was a lot of agony, there was a lot of anxiety. This endeavor by ECOWAS is unprecedented. And one of the things that is interesting is many of the leaders of ECOWAS who are hell bent on following this path seem to be embattled themselves in their countries, and they want this precedent for a variety of reasons. Imperialism has been one that has been brought forth, but you really have to dig deep and wonder why is it that these presidents want so badly to send their armies to assault Niger? The many people have said, and I will reiterate it. In Niger, unfortunately, we've had many coups. I'm really not interested in talking about or taking one side or another. Um, we've dealt with issues. We've had several coups. Like I said, we've had the Conférence Nationale in the 1990s that have charted the path toward democracy. So we're also pretty adept at, sort of doing our dirty laundry at home and in family, and that's how it should be. Unfortunately, this is not the case. So, actually, circling back, lastly, my point about thinking of the Nigerian people with the hashtag, the people back home need to see that our brothers and sisters from other countries are with them. Uh, and I think that would be very helpful. So if it's through, marches, through the press, thankfully we have social media in many ways. Yes, there are language barriers, but seeing that other people are thinking about Niger and supporting Niger is going to help make the days be ahead a lot easier. Thank you, and I yield back.
All right, thank you very much. So the hashtag remains #No War in Niger, please. It's let's make it. Let's make tweets with it. Let's make it go viral. We don't want war with Niger. Nigerians don't want to go to war with Niger. They are our brothers. They are our sisters. We don't want war in Africa because we see what the West are trying to do, and we need to push back on this. All right, so let me quickly take a cue. Scoopy, you go next, then Olaniran,
Hello.
then hold on, please. Scoopy, Olaniran, Mascari, in that order. Then I take another cue. Scoopy, Olaniran, Mascari, in that order. Scoopy, over to you.
Hello, everyone. I am Nigerian and also African. What I'm going to say now is it is very shameful or something bad, like how our leaders are behaving like animals. I can't understand what happened. Why African cannot remember Berlin Conference, because Africa is one country. Why Tinubu decide what to do between Nigerian and Niger just because of the coup? And we also know that the people of Niger are happy with that, because the only thing that French people are doing in their country is to steal their natural resources. So why African cannot remember a Berlin Conference in 1948 to 1945? At the time where was a time where colonial masters and create borders between our country, because there is no border in Africa. That our history shows it is one land, one. And they also, like, if I can remember, it was in Addis Ababa, 1963, where the African leaders of that time sit was sit and discuss about how African should be one country with one currency, with one president, with also one military force. But at this level where Africans are expecting this thing to be happen recently, why Tinubu is trying to make us to be back? It's taking us. What happened? Please, uh, someone should just talk.
All right, thank you very much, Kupi. So, Olaniro, over to you.
Okay, greet everybody. Good morning from here. Well, this this matter that is on the ground, we need to make it very clear to ourselves, because I'm from Nigeria. The name Nigeria, if that the name, I did not understand that name. The name has no meaning for my language. So, but this Nigeria, the people that is in the country want their country the way it is now. So now the Nigeria government wanted to go there and go and fight war with them. So that is, I call that terrorism. And now the sorry, I'm going to speak in Igbo. Okay, so anybody who can translate that. So the people wait there for there,
Translate,
waiting
Bawo.
for.
God, not cause the pidgin with the Yaram.
Yes, yes, I will speak in P. So the people waiting for Niger, they are happy with the way their government they now, because they feel say the government we did there before now, France people, the European people, and then put the president, and they use and they suffer them. So that's why they push they push the president come out, they put their own, the one who them feel say it better, who they want, they put am there. And now the Nigeria government won't go there say because I be ECOWAS, so won't go there, go carry war, go there, won't go kill them. So if you go there, go kill them now. Where you can't carry war, go there. You won't come go put you won't carry president put for on top of their head, because I don't understand. And this one now where they happen now, no be our president won't do this. Now the British people, because France, now they be the same thing with France. The British and France, they be the same thing. So now then they control our country too, because the president where they for Nigeria currently now, no be the president where people put for there be that. People where people vote for, the president where people vote for now, PeterObi, but the European people, the British, them put Tinubu there. So, and if you say no be like that, then you have to. If I feel see anybody who go fit answer my question, I go feel like because the name Nigeria, that name, you know, get meaning for under the language they say they represent. Like the name Nigeria, I say they represent Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. And that name Nigeria no get meaning for inside the three language, no get any meaning. So, and if you want to know the meaning, you have to go after Latin language, which is the Latin language, which is the European language. So, which means now them come name our country for us, and then they control the country.
Egbon, na
So
you won't teach us this night. Ah,
yes, we have to go through all this so that everything will get clear to us. Because as people they say, they know that they don't understand their government. So now the meaning of Nigeria, that meaning of Nigeria, if you check out for this European people language, now embarrassment, full embarrassment to the people of the country. Because people they tell that and say Flora Shaw come to our country. I still dey go to the Niger matter. I go from here go there. We go
no,
up
round
and
up, round up. Round up.
to round up, if you want to know the meaning of Nigeria, under the comment section, just search, check my name and check the meaning of Nigeria. There for there. So, but now I want to ask one question because this space now it be like a lot of African countries for here. I want to ask one question. Who give us a name? This name, Black, because I check everywhere. We not give ourselves that name in Africa yet. As I check, as I should do my research, I see that this the same European people, and then still come Africa. After they don't terrorize everybody in Africa in the name of colonizing, they name the people Black. Now, what did Black mean for their language? So all of us as we are now, so that means all of us now we will go to hell, and we know the better people will be just useless people according to what Black mean for their language. Yes,
Egbon,
go and check now. You get Google. Go to Google and check what kind of Black.
Egbon, this one you are taking it too far. Let's stick to the topic. You're taking it too far. I'm not with you on this one. Mascari, please over to you. Mascari, are you there? Please over to you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone here. Don't be annoyed because when I was trying to connect this thing, I saw it is muted by the hoster. I want to talk on this ECOWAS. Hope everyone is hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you. Please make it.
Like when I hear this ECOWAS, like I'm confused and I'm still confused in that word ECOWAS. Don't be annoyed. Like that word ECOWAS, I was thinking like it was for economic, but I don't know why it was changing to war. But I want to talk very important thing here. The very important thing I'm about to raise up is we are almost like 600 and something before we are 700 and something on this platform here now that is listening. So we all are here and we are like to bring out a solution to this war. And if this war starts, it's going to affect all in Nigeria. So my own decision is since we are here and our president given to us and never be able to hear anything that we are saying, I was thinking if us can do a peaceful protest anywhere to let the president know that we, Nigerian citizens, is against the war that the ECOWAS is about to like bring up in Niger. Like I don't know how possible it will be, and that is the only way the president can be able to hear us and our leaders
Yes,
can be able to hear
absolutely.
us.
Absolutely, Mascari, because I think for now, thus far, of all the solutions that have been brought forward here, the most um the most formidable solutions that have been suggested here to help us to actually get the world entirely to see that Nigerians are not in support of this war with Niger is by us going out en masse, because only then will the government and also everyone around that's the whole world will know that yes,
Thank
we
you.
truly do not want war, we want peace. And I think somebody came up with um came up with a suggestion saying the northerners who share borders with Niger. I think we share about is it 6 to 7 states share borders with Niger. So those are perfect points to be picketed by northerners. By somebody suggested going there and standing around the border, waving their Nigerian flags. It's a way to show them that they don't want to fight with Nigerians. Obviously, I don't think our own government will want to crush its own citizens because they are ambitious to invade, Niger. So,
Thank you.
and that could also be a very good move. So, for thus far of all these discussions, that's the only thing that can be swift, that we can do promptly, that would actually make any significant impact or difference in all of this discussion first part. That's for me, that's the only swift response to this, and um that might change, that might have the power to change things eventually. Because imagine having over 10,000 Nigerians in each of these borders. I
And
don't think Nigeria will want to
why? The
want
main
to
reason,
border.
the main reason why I want to talk here because I have my brothers and my sisters, all of them in that country. That ECOWAS is about to bring war. And according to the news that I heard today, the president already given order for the war. We all are here. And anything about war, you don't know when it starts. So I was thinking, if we can make this thing possible, I am ready. Anywhere I'm ready to go because I don't like my other one over there killed at war. So I don't know if how possible that could be on how we're going to make arrangements of the people that share border with that with the
Oga,
neighboring
right
country.
now, the truth is, the point at which we are right now, no one is going to tell anyone this is where you're going to. Like, it's something that everybody should take initiative, because at this point nobody wants war. Everybody already understands the the disadvantages that comes with having a country going into war. So this one is not something like we're planning for a party or going for a party. Everybody just should know what to do at this point. Everybody should be out there. You don't need to start, making arrangements as if you're traveling with somebody, or you're going to a party with someone, or you're going for a wedding with someone. It's something that everybody should just be out there. So right now at this point, everybody got to do what they have to do.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Can someone else speak? Because I already got my point.
Of course. Thank you. All right. So you let me take a new queue. If you're on the speaker section and you want to speak, please raise your hand so that we can take a queue. I'm going to start with TY, and then we'll go to Chinedu and then Maven, in that order. So TY, you have the mic. If you're on the speaker section, you want to speak, raise your hand so that we can take a queue. TY, Chinedu, Maven.
Arawa, thank you for letting me speak. I thank every one of you for what you're doing. Really, really important, very crucial. I'll try to touch on some points, but two I think is really important. One was from a lady who was asking me why do they hate us so much. It was hours ago when she asked. And then there was a lady from Nigeria who was really talking about what I think she was hitting the nail on the head, which is we are not aware of what is really going on. So we are really in the dark. I'm not going to talk too much. I just want to give a book. Everybody have said something important here. And Arewa also, the fact that Africans are coming to talk about what is going on back at their places is quite symbolic of what we represent, Nigerians, right? So I just want to quickly give this so that I quickly get out so some other people make their point. Please, my people, if you get Bible and paper, I'm going to write for hand. Books that are extremely important for you to read as an African person, so you have clarity. Whenever anything is happening, you are not in the dark. You know exactly why it's happening. I have just two females in the US with the book. If you're listening, just write it down because that was given to me when I was in the US. Dr. Marimba Ani. Her name is Dr. Marimba Ani. And the book, the name is Yurugu. Yurugu. And the other book, his name is Dr. Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of Black Civilization. If you're an African person, extremely important. You need to know certain aspects of history. It's very, very important. so that whatever is happening, you can really plug in and then you have clarity. Why we tend to get easily muscled into things that really doesn't concern us is because we don't have an idea of our past. And that is where all the information is. How we get treated, why we are looked at like animals, treated badly anywhere we go to. For example, I'm going to make it really quick. Some people came in here and tried to play the brotherhood thing. They were coming from Eastern Arab world. If any of you have been to that place, they look us and treat us like dogs. So because again, I'll go back again, I think it was NASA who was asking, why do they hate us so much? The question was coming from a place of ancestral voice. I think that's really where it was coming from. For you to ask that is really ancestors giving you a sign. We do not understand anything that has happened to us in the past. We don't know what it means to have our culture completely demolished. We bow to foreign gods. So everything happening to us, it makes a lot of sense. So I hope you guys have taken it down and try to read them. As we try to find solutions, it's very important that a certain level of awareness begins to come in so that we'll not be getting caught up in things that really should not be happening to us. It is almost to a point of being laughable now, obviously, because these foreigners will just be laughing at us, because we step into things that we shouldn't allow in the first place. So the book name, Marine, go on.
Please just put the name of the book in the chat box. I think that's better than spelling it out.
Absolutely.
Nobody's going to catch the information by just speaking. So put it in the chat box so that people can get back
Absolutely.
to it.
Because when NASA was asking that, everybody chimed in and it was almost like a very flimsy take on a very crucial question. And when she asked it, I swear to God, it was almost like a very African ancestor speaking to her. Like, why do they hate us so much? You see what has happened for over 2,000 years.
So wait, I'm coming. Are you saying it has nothing to do with our resources?
It goes deeper than that.
Okay, just put down the names of the books.
It goes deeper.
So that people can get back to it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do now. Well done. Yes, cheers.
Thank you very much. All right, Chinedu, you have the mic, please.
All right, thank you, Arewa, for giving me the space. Everybody keeps saying good evening here. I think it's well in the morning, and Arewa's voice is sounding so bright. She's supposed to go sleeping right now because her voice is sharp. Many people think it's still well in the evening, not knowing it's early hours of the morning.
Morning, I've been here since in the morning.
I really commend you. You're doing a whole lot. I'm currently looking at the Twitter trending. I think no war in Niger is trending second place. I think BTC is following first. So I think a lot of persons are actually doing what it takes now. The hashtag saying no war in Niger. I want to really commend everybody for doing that. My contribution to this is that listening to everyone here, I think these past few days I've put a lot of people into researching what is going on. A lot of persons are following tweets, viral informations, and all that. One thing I want to add is this: in line with what we all know, the United States of America is in center of all this. And why I have to reinstate that is they are the world power. And on the research and information out there, America is going to be the last world power on earth. We know the reason why America is world power, followed by the Britain. So it means America is going to keep exerting its authority on earth as long as this system continues. And it's something all intelligence agencies know. Everybody knows it around the world. But I think for some reason here in Africa, we who are students of politics and international relations fail to educate ourselves in the right perspective. Information is power. Because I don't know if I'm printed.
Can hear you, please. Can you round up?
So information is power. America is going to keep dictating what is happening. And like we all know, the BRICS nation, the BRICS, let me call it the BRICS nation now, to call it the nation, the collection of countries, is actually rivaling the American world power. So America is not going to go down without a fight. Whatever you think is going on with France and Niger, America is going to be at the helm of it. A lot of profits is going to be made. A lot of weapons are going to be sold. Those weapons are going to come from America. The industrial war complex of America runs into trillions of dollars. Money is going to be made from conflicts. If there are no conflicts, money will not be made. It's something that is well known. So it's something we Africa here have to be involved and getting ourselves with a lot of information. Now, the only thing that can challenge America's hegemony in the world, like we know, is a rival force, and that is coming in from Russia. Unfortunately, America has ruffled the bear, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But in terms of Africans putting up a resistance in a diplomatic way so that we don't become the sole losers, has to be with Africans uniting. And it has to be in a political revolution. You can see the EFF is already doing that in one way or the other with what they are doing in South Africa. But they are leaning towards more of either Marxist or Leninist ideals or communist ideals. So they are leaning into being into going that form of democracy. So you can see that it's getting to a shift in terms of ideology. Now, what can be done to bring about uh, change in
Please
America's
round
foreign
up,
policy?
please.
What can bring about a change in Americans' foreign policy? It has to do with the people educating themselves, arming themselves with knowledge. Then it has to do with peaceful protest, like letting our voices heard. We here in Nigeria, we have people who are who are in the United States, who are in Europe, can engage them so that they can know what is going on there and they can keep protesting. Because the people who can actually stop America or stop them in their quest are their citizens. They can protest peacefully, they can tell their government enough is enough, stop the bloodshed, stop the conflict that you are putting up in these nations. If we keep letting our voices heard, if we keep educating ourselves first on what is going on first, we can have a better way of protesting rightly by also involving those who are in diaspora, getting them to put pressure on their government, the American government or the world powers, will make them soft to a little bit,
Please
giving up.
round up. You're taking too
Give up.
much time, please.
All right, please, we give up um, or whatever it is they have in plan. I wish you would have allowed me to speak. I waited here for a very long time, but I understand you are tired. I want to commend you. You should keep up the work. What you are doing is being heard in a lot of places. A lot of people from different countries are bringing up their experiences and ideas. So it shows that a lot of persons are listening. Thanks to Twitter, X is giving us a platform for us to let our voice heard. So that's what I know I can say right now. Let's keep trading the hashtag, keep our voices being heard. Get people from the international community to keep going, know what is going on around here. Once the voices are being heard, I think America will back up a little bit, and I think that's what I have to say right
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Sorry for cutting you short. We still have lots of people requesting the mic. I'm just trying